TouchStarved is intended for an older audience. It contains mature content that includes, but not limited to, horror, graphic violence, strong language, alcohol and drug references, injury, and dismemberment. All the things we love! Everything that's perfect for the channel! If you accept the embargo terms and content warning. Embargo? Oh. Okay. In TouchStarved, your choices matter. The decisions you make may result in unique dialogue, interactions, or even choices in red text, which contain exclusive content. Try playing through the demo more than once, choosing different options. You might even uncover a secret ending. And remember, there are no wrong choices, only interesting ones. Choose wisely. Save often. Oh, God. Okay. Enter your name. Well, choose your pronouns. Ah, that's cool. So, this isn't against them, but I do wish people would branch out. Like, they, them, she, her, he, him is fantastic, wonderful, awesome, but I do wish they would branch out to the she, them, he, them, they, her, they, him, it, the, shy, like, kind of like showing all of the choices. They may add it, but I mean, these are good. I'm nitpicky because I'm a they, she, but you know how it is. So, hee. This world began to unravel long before you were born. It began with fogfall. Spectral mist bled from the seams where reality wore so thin it split. And from that fog emerged monsters, inhuman beings with unnatural powers. Some possessed language and intellect, others were mindless beasts driven by little more than the desire to slaughter. As cities fell and unrest spread, humans united in their fear while monsters thrived in the chaos. And then there's you. And then there's me. You're not even sure if you're human. You were born cursed, with hands that alter the minds of anyone you touch. Choose your backstory. Okay. Ooh. We've got the Unnamed, a fallen oracle. You were raised as an oracle in a remote temple. The priest claimed your touch bestowed enlightenment, but a visiting mage revealed your curse for what it is. Following the mage's words, you fled in search of the Cenobium. Cenobium? That sounds better. You regularly experience unnatural premonitions that rattle your body and soul. An innate sixth sense gives you a heightened awareness of hidden supernatural presences around you. Do let me know if the sound is overbearing my voice. It still sounds very loud on my end. The Hound, a forsaken thief. You were raised by society's outcasts, criminals who accepted you when no one else would. Your partner in crime, a friend since childhood, helped you steal enough money for a cure, then betrayed you. They left you with only enough coin to travel to the Cenobium, your last hope. You have sharply honed social intuition. You can survive and even thrive in the violent underbelly of any city, using your experience with the underworld to get ahead. The sound is good? Excellent! Finally, the Alchemist, an abandoned mage. An exiled Cenobium mage took you in as a child, raising you as her apprentice. She seemed to take pity on your curse, but you discovered that she was cultivating you as a test subject. You fled to the Cenobium seeking a cure. You are an experienced spellcaster with encyclopedic knowledge of alchemy, spellcrafting history. With a little observation, you can identify the subtle effects of magic. Huh. I like this. The Unnamed, the Hound, and the Alchemist. Interesting. Well, if I go by past character archetypes of Gaz, of myself, the Hound would be the best. Your name is Gaz. You selected they, them pronouns. Your backstory is the Hound. Is this correct? Yes. This makes me think of, like, the beginning of Kingdom Hearts. Where it's like, you choose power over friendship. You're afraid of failing. Yada, yada, yada. Ahem. The wasteland stretches as far as the eye can see. There's nothing out here but death, the ever-present stench of decay, and countless sun-bleached bones cast like seeds across the barren land. I could say death doesn't scare me, but to tell the truth, I'm desperate. It's been 2 weeks since I joined a caravan bound across the waste. Finding a group that would accept me as a trial in itself. Finding a group that would accept me was a trial in itself. As rations grew sparse and my canteen ran dry, I began to despair, but then I saw it. Give me a second. Iridia. I'm gonna assume. Iridia, the city of knowledge, one of the last bastions of humanity, left in the world and home to the famous academy called the Cenobium. All the world's knowledge gathered in one place. If there's anywhere I'll find a cure for my curse, it's here. It's there. Whatever. All that stands between me and a cure is a final stretch of salt-soaked waste, or so I think, until I see the first tendrils of fog snaking beneath the wagon. Is this fall? My stomach sinks at the very whisper of it. A silent storm more devastating than fire, dangerous in cities, but a death sentence beyond them. A thick blanket of fog engulfs us, smothering out the lantern's light. The wagon lurches to a stop. An eerie silence, heavy as the mist falls over us. The only warning we get is a strangled scream. I'm so glad you're playing this game. I've heard nothing but great things about it. Oh, awesome! Yeah, Kawaii literally just told me about it this morning. So, that's why I want to play it. The only warning we get is a strangled scream. Stay back! No! The cry dissolves into wet gurgling. Then the wagon violently pitches into the side. I hit the ground hard, the air punched from my lungs. When I open my eyes, adrenaline lends sudden, awful clarity to the carnage around me. A trader I once shared bread with lies face down in the mud, their back reduced to long strings of torn muscle, gleaming gristle and exposed bone. Bodies litter the wasteland. I try to rise, but my ankle explodes with pain so blinding. The white blooms across my vision. Only when my eyes adjust do I see the dark shape in front of me. Oh. Hello. It's got eyes on its arm. A soulless stoops over the twisted form of a caravaner. I freeze, but it swivels its head. A dozen bulging eyes twitch in my direction and blink as one. So when I saw this monster for the first time, I was like, so can I romance it? Oh no, wait, this doesn't look like Minecraft. Yes, I know, Kanatsu, I lied. You trusted me and I lied to you. The soulless lets out an ear-splitting shriek and runs at me. Right before it reaches me, the beast barrels past, vanishing into the mist. Distantly, a horse screams in the dark. I need to move now. Let's see. Run for the city, head towards the wagon. Oh. Where are we going, chat? Are we running for the city, or are we heading towards the wagon? Cast your votes. Just say it in chat, and I'll pick the majority. I'm gonna make like a choose your own adventure. 2 for wagon. Your pick, broski. Alright, well, we're defaulting to the wagon. We're heading towards the wagon. I take cover besides the wagon, where the air is thick with greasy smoke. Fire eats through the gaping hole, spluttering where lantern oil mixes with brackish water. Every person I see is dead or dying, except for one. O All-Mother, forgive our sins. Guide us unto your hearth. We are worthy. We are worthy. A traveler groveled by the flames, their hands clasped above their head in fervent prayer. I glance upwards towards the gauzy lights of Iridia, just visible where the fog runs thinnest. I don't pray, but the sight of the city is all I remember. Oh my god, my words. Is all the reminder I need. I came too far to die here. Rapid footsteps echo all around me. I turn in circles, frantically searching the opaque mist for the source, but the fogfall twists and stretches sound. Suddenly, the caravan's driver bursts forth from the fog. Our eyes meet too late. He slams into me, knocking me to the ground, and slips into a patch of mud. The Solus falls on him as soon as he slows. It catches the driver by his throat and breaks his stomach with razor-sharp claws. Thank you for the check-in, Kanatsi. He comes apart like wet paper, spilling intestines and viscera into a steaming tide. Fighting the urge to heave, I claw frantically through the slippery muck for a handhold. Shit! My hand catches on the jagged edge of a rib jutting from the water. Bandages unfurl around the gouge torn deep in my palm. The pain's quickly forgotten when a hand closes around my wrist. Can you stand? The praying traveler leans over me. We need to run. They reach for my hand and I realize too late my bandages have come undone. No, don't touch me! The sensation of their thumb brushing the back of my hand sends a shiver down my spine. All it takes is one touch, and in the space of a breath, my curse takes hold. Oh, I don't like that. I really don't fucking like that. Oh dear. Their lips peel back into a deranged grin. I hate this. Oh, I hate this! No, I've seen this face countless times before. This is my curse, madness of my own making. Their grip on my hand tightens until pain radiates from my knuckles. Let me... Suddenly, clammy hands crush my throat, choking off my breath. Die, 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 die! Spit bubbles out at the corners of their mouth and flecks my face. The edges of my vision darken as my lungs scream for air. Are we screaming for help or are we fighting them off? That face is fucking horrifying. The art is amazing. And that's good. It's making me just shudder. We're fighting them off? Okay. My nails gouge deep into the traveler's wrist, but no matter how much blood I draw, they don't flinch. The more I struggle, the tighter their grip grows. My pulse hammers in my ears, slowing with each thudding beat. Tears sting my eyes. No, not here, not like this. The hands drop from my neck, leaving me wheezing for air. My lungs burn with each ragged cough. My vision clears and the traveler's face takes shape. Hovering inches from mine, lips still split into that macabre smile, even as blood seeps between their teeth. They give one last shuddering breath and slump over, the claws hooked through their stomach. The soulless shoves the body aside, and the glowing eyes studding its leathery skin thin, as though grinning. There's a flash of claws, red spill across my vision. I thought there'd be pain, but as I sink into the murky water, all I can feel is the grit of silt filling my mouth and the icy embrace of shallow water. Distantly I notice an arm resting among an outcrop of reeds, mine neatly severed at the elbow. Oh, I'm dead. It should have taken both arms. Without them, maybe I could have survived. Maybe I could have had a home. Instead, I'll die, cold, alone, face down in a desolate wasteland. fitting end for a monstrosity like me. The game's done. It's over. We never even made it to the city. If this is death, it's not as bad as I feared. The cold is gone, as is the choking stench of bog water. I could drift forever, cocooned in oblivion, until all thought and sensation vanished. No curse, nobody howling at me in madness and terror, nothing at all. The thought has a terrible appeal to it. But the next moment, I take a reflective breath, air pours into my lungs, then out again in a ragged gasp. No. 5 more minutes in heaven. Feeling comes flooding back. Warm cloth on my bare skin, a firm surface underneath me, a strange tang of sulfur in the air. Do not be afraid. I've heard this line before! I've heard this line before and suddenly I'm married. God damn it. And he's come for me again. In the same damn scenario where I'm literally bleeding on the ground. I twist my head toward the voice. Tears flood my bleary vision at the bright glow of lamplight, excuse me, fucking words. Lamplight. Try not to move. No. No, actually, yeah, no, I think that works as a voice for him. Let me try that again. Try not to move. The voice is calm, steady, and commanding, but more importantly, it's a stranger's voice. One thought cuts through my mental fog. I have no idea who this is, and I'm completely at them. Stay away from me! My words come out a little more than a creaky whisper. I'm like fucking shrieking like a bog frog over here. I clamp my mouth shut, hating how weak and helpless it sounds. No. No? Who the hell is this? He's your angel, BB. Oh, is this the angel? Was I on the nose with that? I read like all of their little descriptions, but you know, that fucking went gone in a flash. This is the angel? Cool. I'm gonna sit up. I managed to push myself up on one elbow, but my head swims, and my surroundings give an alarming lurch. A stubborn patient. I don't have the strength to dignify that with a response. Instead, I pull the sheet up higher and wipe my eyes until my vision clears. Oh. Okay, he's pretty, but... He pretty. I need to get some water, hold on. I love visual novels, I do. But text-heavy games do a number on my throat, so... Pardon me for clearing my throat a lot tonight. The stranger towers... Hold on. The stranger towers over my prone form. Warm light reflects off his pristine medical coat. I instinctively shrink back. That's when I notice that I'm completely naked except for a thin linen sheet. Oh no, he has me all exposed and vulnerable. Naked, laying on a low cot with a pair of sharp golden eyes watching my every move, the man's gaze flickers to my exposed, unbandaged hands. He knows my secret. I plunged my hands under the sheet to hide them from sight. Though it was too late, he must have noticed what they looked like. Strange, cursed, inhuman. I brace myself for his inevitable suspicion and disgust, but his expression doesn't even flicker from that courteous smile. He just watches in placid silence as I struggle to make sense of my surroundings. Where am I? Who are you? Be calm. You are safe. Whoever this is, he clearly has no idea who or what I am. I've never been safe anywhere, with anybody, anyone. The only people I ever trusted betrayed me for a fat purse of coin. That rat bastard. I scowl, pulling the sheet protectively around myself. Excuse me. Where are my clothes? The man's golden eyes narrow slightly. A sharp sigh rustles the papers in his hands. I see you are not to be dissuaded. Your clothes were torn to shreds when I found you, but I procured replacements. Oh, wow. This background art is amazing. I love how it's like it kind of toes that line between being almost too cartoonish. Which is a good thing. That's not like a bad critique. It's a good thing. With a soft creak, he stands from his chair, giving me a better view of my surroundings. I seem to be in some sort of medical clinic. Bottles of silvery chemical concoctions line the counters in neat rows. I love the music in this game. Their themes are the music's been so good so far. The doctor looks nice too. This game is a delight. We're not romancing the doctor. That is a horrible. Hold on. Okay, we're good. Oh, I didn't get a chance to read all of that, but that's okay. We can't be romancing the man that helped us. That's like, what's the word? Invasion of, doctor and patient, relationship. Can't be doing that. The doctor produces a large, dense bundle of cloth, which he sets at the foot of my cot. He easily a head taller than most, and I have to crane my neck. Hit history? Oh. Oh! That's so cool! I seem to be, this is what I missed right here. The air makes my nose twitch, a faint whiff of smoke, and something distinctively metallic that I can't quite place. Oh, I like that! Thank you! I have to crane my neck to look at it. Are we gonna be polite to him, or are we gonna be a brat? Like, are we gonna, thank this guy, or are we just gonna be, every true damsel and just be like, get out, so I can get dressed? Be a brat to the brat? Shh, kawaii! Spoilers! But okay. Where's my cursor? Could you step out? I lift my head, looking defiantly into those golden eyes. Could you step out first? I'm not getting dressed with you standing here. To my surprise, the man's mouth quirks. I was not anyone watching. Still smiling to himself, he disappears through a narrow door. I hear a soft click and the lock turns behind him. I count to 3 in the sudden silence. When I don't hear any more footsteps, I reach for the bundle of clothes. An itch on my elbow stops me short. I reach down absently to rub it, then freeze when my fingers meet a neat line of stitches. I know what I saw. That beast fucking took my arm. It wasn't me, it was the one-armed man. It took it at the elbow. It took it right off. I saw him do it. That's the criminal right there. He's the one. And yet, my arm shows no sign of injury, apart from the black stitches poking through my skin. I gingerly flex my fingers, feeling my heart race at the sensation. This is impossible. I should be dead, or at the very least, gasping out my last breath. I squeeze my eyes shut, waiting for the pleasant dream to unravel, to wake up bleeding out in the swamp. But nothing happens. The seconds tick by, and my arm remains resolutely healed. My surroundings pristine and quiet. And my nose bleeds. Hold on. I gotta just scratch the inside of my nose. Okay. In numb disbelief, I reach for the replacement clothes and begin stiffly pulling them on. They're thicker and warmer than mine were, with a black woolen cloak to go with them, but there's one thing still missing. My bandages. The golden-eyed man didn't leave me with any, even though I know he saw my hands. I slide off the bed and take a few unsteady steps toward one of the drawers. If this is indeed a doctor's clinic, there must be bandages somewhere. Logically, right? I start opening drawers at random, and of course, that's when the door swings open once more. He caught me with my hands elbow deep in one of the drawers of medicine, of drugs. Shit, now he knows. I'm an addict. Are you looking for something? I whirl around, clutching a thick roll of clean bandages. I try to step back from him, but my legs bump up against the edge of the cot. Your caution is understandable, though if I meant you any harm, you would know. That doesn't make me feel better in the slightest, but he makes no move toward me, so I quickly wind the bandages around my hands. The glowing scars and molten skin disappear under a layer of clean white cotton. May I ask why you need additional bandages? I clenched my jaw. I knew it would only be a matter of time before he asked about my hands, though the way he does it is strangely roundabout. Oh my god. Why can't I just answer him? Why do I have to be a brat? No! Say nothing, glare at him, decline to answer. Isn't say nothing and decline to answer literally the same choice here? Are we just gonna glare at him? Glare at this man. Grr. I fix him with a dead-eye glare, the one that used to send my fellow thieves into shuddering silence. He doesn't even blink, meeting my eyes sincerely as I finish tying my bandages. I am not easily. I hastily break eye contact, but he says nothing more. At least he doesn't seem angry. But if he wants answers out of me, I'm still going to need some from him first. So, who are you? Alright, here we go. Kuros? 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 I'm gonna say Kuros. I've not heard any audio of the characters saying their names, and that's on me for that. But so I'm just gonna pronounce these in the best way I know how, and usually that's phonetically. So you may call me Kuros. And where exactly am I? Your ass is good. Oh, Iridia, which I assume was your caravan's destination. I can think of nowhere else for a group of travelers to go. Iridia, so I made it to the city of knowledge after all. I should feel relieved, but all I can manage is a vague sense of increasing unease. How did I end up here? I brought you to my clinic, of course. You were were the only survivor of the caravan, barely clinging to life. You needed immediate treatment. Which you provided? Yes. He says it so simply, as if I'm a small child and he's explaining basic addition to me. I frown and flex the fingers on my recently healed arm. Aside from being a bit stiff, it feels fine, thoroughly attached to me. So, you're saying that you stitched my arm back on? Pardon? A Solus attacked the caravan. It ripped everyone to shreds. It tore my arm clear off. But when I woke up here, I trail off, bewildered. I've never heard of any magic that could heal a mortal wound like that. What kind of person could do such a thing? The doctor, curious, pinches the bridge of his nose, sits back down in his chair, quiet for a long time. I do not know where you come from, but Iridia is the city of knowledge and deadly secret. Information is power, and it is most unwise to give or receive it freely. Since you have refused to divulge your secrets, I will not divulge mine. I do not even know your name. I was just... You are new to Iridia, so I will overlook the specific region. However, you should not expect others to extend the same courtesy. Hi, welcome to the channel where when I read games like this, you're gonna learn real quick I can't fucking read. I'm dyslexic, and my mouth moves faster than what I can process. And I will misread commonly, said words. Do you understand? He looks pointedly at my freshly bandaged hands. Loath though I am to admit it, he has a point. I am also a complete stranger to him, and if he's telling the truth, he saved my life. Fuck. I take a deep breath. Oh. There's a whole word there. I take a deep, steady breath this time. When I speak, I sound a bit more like myself. Gaz. My name is Gaz. It's a pleasure to meet you, Gaz. There's a little more warmth in his smile, his polite demeanor back in an instant. Alright, now we're gonna be nice to him, because I want to know how he sewed my arm back on. Thank you for saving my life. La 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 la. I chance a smile in return, even if he won't explain how he did the impossible. There is no doubt in my mind that I'd be dead if it... Holy shit. If not for Chris. Your ass. This is gonna be a very long game. Think nothing of it. I'm not sure if he's just being excessively courteous, but his words only raise more urgent questions. But I have to ask, why did you save me? You don't know me. The question seems to startle him. I could hardly leave you to die in the wastes. Assisting those in need is the very essence of a doctor's duty. I've never met a doctor who also handed out free clothes. My fingers find the edge of the cloak. There's a subtle but delicate embroidered pattern around the hem. I try not to think about what kind of price Cyrus might have asked for such well-made clothes. No, I suppose not. Forgive my presumption. I rarely come across so fascinating. I blinked. What did he just say? He said what? I simply meant that a few cling to life so resolute, or brave such a perilous journey to Iridia. I could not help but be curious about it, Gaz. His voice dips to a soft murmur. He abruptly looks away from me. My eyes water. All of my functionality problems are coming up. We are not flirting with this man. I'm avoiding all the obvious flirtings. This is bait. I don't know what to say to that. I honestly don't know what to say to that. If you knew more about me, you may not like me as much as you think. Doctor or not, he wouldn't want to risk his life or sanity over you. No one ever does. A peculiar thing to say. Why would I have a cause to dislike you? And here we are, back at my curse, the thing I've been desperate to avoid discussing. A loud knock at the front door stops our conversation cold and spares me from having to say anything else. Because, unfortunately, you are not my only patient. The knocking grows more insistent. Kuros lets out a tired sigh. Please wait your turn. Though he says it quietly, the clamor on the other side of the door abruptly stops. Do you need anything before you leave, Gaz? Oh. Between the soulless attack and my miraculous survival, I'd almost forgotten why I came to Iridia in the first place. I need directions to the Cenobium. Cenobium? The look on his face is downright chilling. He pauses, choosing his words with cold deliberation. He speaks again. Whatever you seek, it is very unlikely you will find it there. The Cenobium's gates open for precious few visitors. Even if they did, you would not like what we found inside. My heart sinks. Is he saying that I came all this way for nothing? Risked life and limb? For nothing? No, that can't be. I've only just arrived, and Iridia is the largest city still standing. There has to be a cure for me here. Then if not the Cenobium, where would you suggest? Do you know anyone else in Iridia? I shake my head. Oh. Hey! Hey! Then I suggest the local guide. Head to the Wet Wick and ask for Leander. Yes! Absolutely! You won't have to worry about me, sir, Dr. Sir. Woohoo! Putting me into the arms of my savior already. Let's go. Excuse me? The wet what? The Wet Wick. He sounds unamused. Okay. Did my character mishear that? Follow the postings advertising Leander's bloodhounds. They are difficult to miss. When you meet Leander, tell him I sent you. This isn't much to go on, but Kuros points towards the clinic's back door. You will be safe as long as you do not draw attention to yourself. That's easier said than done. I've always been a magnet for the worst sort of attention. If you require my assistance, you may return whenever you wish. Though he's smiling, there's a note of finality in his voice. Resigned to my dismissal, I slipped out the back. I find myself standing in a narrow and rather gloomy alley. I pull the new cloak up over my nose, stepping over the contents of chamber pots that have been emptied into the street. Something weighs heavy inside of the cloak's pocket. Something weighs heavily inside one of the cloak's pockets. My coin purse. Everything is still inside, every last coin that I had scrapped together for the journey to Iridia. It doesn't even look like it was open. There were so few coins to begin with, they probably weren't worth stealing. I glanced back at the clinic's closed doors. Kuros didn't take any payment, he didn't even ask for a future favor. But he also said that in Iridia's secrets are power. Does he expect me to give up mine at some point? That's not exactly a comforting thought. Still, no matter why he did it, Kuros gave me a second chance and a lead on where I might find help. I better get going before he changes his mind. I squeeze out of the alley and into the crowded main street. Alright, I'm gonna save right here. The line outside Kuros' clinic stretches down the road already. Two thin peddlers queue alongside weathered elders. If any place is in desperate need of a free clinic, it's this one. The cobblestones are treacherously rough under my feet, deep grooves worn between them by regular flooding and decades of hard use. I knew Iridia was a river city, but I didn't expect it to look so eroded. The buildings are tired and dilapidated, all crammed together in narrow streets. They don't really look that dilapidated. A child darts by, clutching something greasy wrapped in paper. The smell of fried food drifts over me. My stomach gives a faint rumble. This morning's catch! Fried up, hot and fresh. Not too many eyeballs today. That sounds disgusting, but I'm starving, so I duck my head under the stall's grubby awning. A large fish leers up at me, its 3 bulging eyes still visible through the thick layer of crispy batter. The vendor gives me a gap-toothed grin. What's the cheapest thing you've got? The vendor points at a metal basket of what looks like long strips of savory fried dough. Fresh long, lads. 3 copper apiece. Don't burn your mouth. I take the coins out, counting them gingerly. At this rate, I might not even be able to afford dinner. Reluctantly, I drop the payment on the counter and take my meal. 2 streets later, I pass under a wrought iron archway adorned with dangling garlands of red and pink lilies. The buildings in this quarter are a dizzying riot of color, painted walls and tinted glass everywhere I look. Sheer red and pink curtains fluttering in open doorways. Musical voices call out invitingly. Incense mingles with the pungent scent of flowers, barely covering the salt and musk of warm bodies. Ah! I see. We're in the red light district. This must be Iridia's entertainment district. I'm polishing off my food and dusting the crumbs from my hands when I spot a poster. It features the silhouette of a smiling man wearing a single dagger-like earring, and the word Bloodhounds printed above his head, a motto, as above, so below, circles the art. If Leander is the leader of the Bloodhounds, then the face painted on the poster is likely his. I follow the line of identical posters around the corner, nearly hit my head on a precariously dangling wood sign. Looking up, faded orange letters read, The Wet Wick. The facade of the building looks like it's seen better days, but I hear faint music and laughter coming from inside. Oh, nice. I love this. Good background ambience. That's a good one. The inside of the bar is a far cry from the abandoned exterior. It's not even midday, yet most of the tables and booths are occupied by a loose assembly of people in matching green cloaks. There's a lot you can tell about a city by its dives. This one seems ordinary enough, even if the uniforms are unusual. A cursory glance doesn't turn up anyone with a dagger-shaped earring. I'm about to head towards the counter when a chant rises from the center of the room. Show! 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 The remaining green cloaks abandon the bar, their booths to rush towards the center of the room in a sudden torrent. There's no time to move out of the way. I'm caught, swept along in the ale-stench current. Hey! Rhythmic chanting drowns out my voice. I thrash, throwing out my elbows as the press of bodies grows heavier. My hip knocks into a table. I grip, holding on tight to steady myself. But the crowd has stilled. The chanting stopped. A pair of gilded boots stride across the tabletop. Seriously? You dogs? Again? Scattered laughter and cheers rise from the audience. I drag my eyes upward. A well-dressed man stands on the table in front of me, his broad shoulders framed by the thick lapels of a trench coat. This really is the last time, alright? This time, when he speaks, the audience falls silent, as though bewitched by his magnetic presence. Or rich low voice. Oh, low voice? Oh, I'm going high. I can't do baritone. Fuck. Dick-sucking lips, he's so beautiful and tired. And his titties so big, his biceps so big. Man's got a deep voice. I can't do deep to save my life, but I will try. I will give this the best of my ability. But nothing is as captivating as his smile. He beams at the crowd around him, a performer on his makeshift stage. Don't blink, or you'll miss it. He laughs, and the dagger-shaped earring dangling from his left ear catches the light in a flash of gold. It would seem I found Leander. He raises his hand above the audience and snaps. A flash of pale green light, real magic, no ordinary stage trick, blinds me. As the brilliance ebbs, my gaze refocuses on the mage towering above me. He flicks his wrist and the magic spiraling around him coalesces. A delicate flower stem sprouts from between his pinched fingers. One by one, glowing lily petals spring forth. With a flourish, the mage presents the conjured flowers. The audience bursts into clapping and cheers. A genuine magic show was the last thing I expected from a place called the Wet Wick. Leander plucks the iridescent bouquet out of the air and turns in a slow circle, giving his audience a good look. Now, who could use some good luck? Eager onlookers scoot closer to the table. Some reach for the lilies, while others whistle and call Leander's name. But his cool green eyes slide right over them, locking on to me instead. Yes, look at me, perceive me, see me, I'm right here. How about you? My chest tightens. Every person gathered turns to stare at me. Takes the fucking flowers! What do you mean refuse them? I reach out, all too aware of the way my fingers tremble as I carefully take the flowers from them. There's no weight to them, only a faint warmth that radiates from the stems. As soon as the flowers leave Leander's hand, their light dims, they fade away in a shower of opalescent light. To my surprise, Leander laughs under his breath. That's the problem with flowers. They don't last long, but they leave an impression, right? He grins at me, and I find myself smiling back. Leander steps off the table, dropping among the excited crowd with an audible "Alright, bloodhounds, get back to your drink. Show's over." The green cloaks disperse at his command, returning to their tables and booths. Before I can make my way toward Leander, his eyes find me. He gives me a friendly wave and beckons me over to the crowded counter. I manage to squeeze beside him, but there's so little room that his broad shoulders presses against mine. Oof. I tense, but he doesn't seem to mind at all. "Is this your first time in Iridia?" He says it lightly, with a genuine air of curiosity. Jeez. Do I stick out that much? No, but I'm certain I'd remember seeing a face as lovely as yours around Lowtown. Where is Surf? I need Surf to voice this man. I can't do it. Why am I not playing this with Surf? Oh my god. Where's my husband? Somebody go get him. My eyes flicker to the polished countertop. I'm not used to flattery, and being this close makes eye contact difficult. As if on cue, the bartender approaches us. What can I get you? Surprise me, and add anything my friend wants to the tab. I wasn't expecting the generosity, but I have to admit, I do feel a little thirsty after all that fried dough. Oh yeah, I'm sure it's the fried dough that makes you feel thirsty, and not, the fat tits in front of you. I'll have what he's having. Water's good. Oh, this man. I'll get drunk with him. I'll have what he's having. While the bartender leaves to fix our drinks, Leander leans his elbows on the counter. I'm close enough to notice the purple shadows under his lower lips. His eyes wander over me in return, but when they lock on my bandaged hands, a sour taste rises in my throat. Here come the questions. So, what brings you to the Wick? Kuros said me. He pushes his hair back from his forehead, but it immediately falls right back into place. So, it's about work. The bartender returns with a pair of glasses filled with what I can only assume is beer. I raise my glass and give it an experimental sniff. It smells faintly yeasty, but with an undercurrent I can't quite place. A quick sip confirms my worst suspicions. It's awful, somehow briny and sour in a way that reminds me of pickles. Oh, come on. Can't the MC like the beer? Like, I don't drink beer personally, but I think it's kind of cliche that they're gonna hate the drink that they're drinking alongside the person when you pick the option. I'll have what you're having. I don't know. I'm just expecting like to actually get a choice of saying you like it or you hate it. I don't know. A little diversity in that kind of like scenario would not be bad. It's the bar. Drinks are shit and cheap. Oh, well, still. Maybe my character likes, cheap drinks. Damn, maybe my character likes cheap liquor. It ain't top shelf, but it's it's okay for me. I'm just saying, like, too many times does a visual novel make your character somebody who doesn't like something in particular, and more often than not, it's either beer or it's liquor or things like that. Like it paints your character in kind of like that Puritan mindset that they don't drink any kind of hard booze, and I wouldn't mind a change to that. But that's just me. That's just my preference. In a way that reminds me of his. But any thought of complaining dies the moment I look up and see Leander taking a deep swig from his glass. He lets out a satisfied breath. How can I be of assistance? I need to get to this cenobium. As soon as the word cenobium leaves my mouth, the entire bar falls silent. Bloodhounds twist around in their seats to gawk openly, and finally an especially drunk one speaks up. The hell are you bringing up the cenobium in here? Throw him out. This is bloodhound territory. The vitriol catches me off guard. From the angry looks thrown my way, it's clear I've broken some unspoken rule just by mentioning the cenobium. When I glance at Leander, he's drinking, as though he hasn't noticed the uproar, only when he catches me looking to be lower his hands. He drags a hand down his face. Hey, keep it down, will ya? This is business. I tense, expecting an argument, but the outspoken bloodhounds silently return to their drinks. Only a handful continue to watch me warily. Sorry about them. The cenobium's a bit of a touchy subject in the parks. Mix in enough drinks, well, so. But how about we continue this outside? When I give him a terse nod, he pushes away from the bar counter. Back outside we go. I follow Leander to an alleyway tucked behind the wet wick where layers of frayed bloodhound posters have been plastered to the walls. Seeing them side by side, the resemblance between Leander and his likeness on the poster is impressive. Girls didn't send you here for help. No. From the look he gives me, he already knows the answer. I glance away. No, he didn't. He suggested I'd find an alternative. Yet, you are thinking about them anyway. What do you need the cenobium for? I don't want to tell him about my curse. The less people know about my capabilities, the better. Thankfully, Leander takes my reluctant silence as an answer. Well, I see you are already aware of the city's currency. Information's worth its weight in gold. Carol's told you the truth. Cenobium's dangerous. Get on their bad side, and they'll imprison you if you're lucky, or torture you if you're not. But the cenobium's supposed to be a place of learning, a sanctuary. The cenobium has always been heralded as the last bastion of human knowledge, a shining beacon of hope in a world steeped in nightmares. If any place held answers, it would be the cenobium. That's why I came here. That's what they want you. But things that seem too good to be true are often just that. Such a simple statement, yet leaves me reeling. If it's true, if I staked everything on the line, then what now? Leander clears his throat. But, as I always say, there's solutions to every problem and alternatives to every solution. He claps his hands and turns to me with a brilliant smile. That's why Tyrell's pointed you to the Bloodhounds. Let us help you. Whether it's hunting soulless, finding people, or recovering stolen valuables, we can do it all, free of charge. I'm shaking my head before he even finishes his practice. My patience is wearing dangerously thin. Listen, I appreciate the offer, but my problem can't be solved by a group of good Samaritans. To my chagrin, Leander nods slowly. Then your problem must be fairly serious, if the Cenobian's your first choice. You're searching for a magical solution, aren't you? When my eyes widen, he nods along, as though he suspected all along. I'd be Holy shit. I'd be happy to help you out. That is, if you'll tell me what ails you. Leander might not work for the Cenobian, but he is a mage, and a powerful one at that, if demonstrations earlier is any indication. He literally just conjured a flower, but I guess if magic is something in this world, yeah. I'm silent, typed by indecision. I don't know if I can trust him, but it's not like I have any alternatives. I hate to admit it, but this could be my only path forward. My confession comes out in a pained whisper. I'm cursed. Cursed? Oh, now I'm very curious. What kind of curse? Something something ancestral or more recent? He looks me up and down, taking in my face, my eyes, and finally my hands. It's your hands, isn't it? I wait until I'm certain my voice will remain steady before answering. My touch is dangerous. It changes people. It hurts them. Before I'm even finished, Leander begins taking his gloves off, tugs his right hand free, and flexes his fingers. Let's see it. He offers me his hand, and a prismatic flash of magic ripples across his palm, but I'm already shrinking backwards. I can't. I don't care how confident Leander is. I can't bring myself to hurt him, to see his kind face twist into a mask of madness. Believe me, this isn't an ordinary curse. I'll be fine. Perhaps where you came from, your affliction was strange, one of a kind. But spend a year in this city, and you'll see thousands of curses, thrice as many cures. Do you really think Kraus would send you here if I couldn't handle it? How should I know? I only met him today. I'm as good as any mage in Zenobia. Better, even. If they can help, so can I. You don't know what you're asking. I'm asking you to trust me. Baby boy, I'll trust you. I will. I'll trust you with everything. I'll trust you with every part of me. I look from Leander's outstretched hand to a confident smile. Then, with a short breath, I begin unwinding the bandages from my hand. Oh, fine, but if you lose control, don't say I didn't warn you. Tie me up. Makes you feel better. Sir? Sir, I will tie you up. Don't think I won't. You blushing! Why are you blushing? That's the face of a man who wants to get pegged. Remember, this is an adult game, everybody. Remember, this is not like some sweet, like, ooh-woo romance. This is hot and steamy. Ayo. Alright. With each joint I expose, I grow more and more certain that this is a terrible idea. Ready when you are. If he's bothered by the way my hand looks, he doesn't show it. My fingers hover shapely over his palm. 3, 2, 1. I tap his palm once, as quickly as possible. It's barely more than the brush, but that's all it ever takes. When I look at his face, expecting to see the worst, Leander only grins. See? It can't be. This time, when I reach out to touch Leander's palm again, he catches my wrist before I can pull away. I told you. There's really nothing to worry about. He trails off when my thumb brushes the soft skin of his inner wrist. I search Leander's face for traces of madness, but his eyes remain a clear, soft green. Color rises in his cheeks, but he remains still except for the subtle bobbing of his throat. Ooh. Neither of us speak as I trace the contents of Leander's palm, lost in an awareness I wasn't prepared for. I've been with others. Words are hard. English is hard. I've been with other people, kissed them, been embraced by them, and more, but not like this. My fingers, long deprived by years of bandaging, pick up every single... So this is why it's called TouchStarved. This is why the title is the title, because your character can't fucking touch people. And then you find somebody who you can touch. That's it. Correct. Exactly. I did it, guys. I've unraveled the mystery of the game. I've answered the unspoken question. Oh. My fingers, long deprived by years of bandaging, pick up every single detail, the grooves of his palm, the smooth shell of his nails, the pulse of his heart. For as long as I've lived, I've never been able to hold someone's hand, not without dire consequences. I never realized what I was missing until this moment. While Leander's pulse is steady, mine is hammering, as fear gives way to excitement. I don't know what I want. Nah, we going all in. We going all in! My hand glides over Leander's wrist and up his forearm, where smooth skin abruptly gives way to the raised scar by the edge of his... Excuse me. It matches the one that runs from his collar to cheekbone. Could it be the same wound? I glance at Leander's face and it flips apart as he considers his words before speaking. Am I the first person you've been able to touch like this? Yes! Yes! Keep touching him. Yes! Yes! My hand goes still on his arm. So far, I'll admit, your touch does make it somewhat difficult to stay level-headed, but not due to your power. Not like, oh, I like this or anything. Not like I like you or anything. He takes my hand with the soft green eyes flipped to mine before he turns it to inspect the golden fizzers crisscrossing my knuckles. Look, you match. He points to a golden pin on his coat collar, and I give him a small smile. I draw my hand back and take a steady breath. My head feels as though it's stuffed with cotton. I can think of something else and get stuffed. Anyway. Habit alone guides me through the motions of rewrapping my hand, although my fingers tremble too much for the bandages to lifeline. I can't believe that worked. May I ask your name? Oh, we never even gave him our name! Oh my god! We're out here just molesting this man's arm? And he doesn't even know who the fuck we are. Great job, everybody. Wonderful. Good job. Aren't we so good? Aren't we the best? Amazing. In a second, real quick. Okay. I'm Gaz. You were right to hide this from me, Gaz. That curse of yours, it's unlike anything I've ever dealt with. I could tell you're discreet, but you'd best not go showing that off to anyone else. I didn't plan on it. Are you staying in Lowtown? I paused. Room and board was something I hadn't yet considered. I don't know. Let's get you properly settled, then. Get me settled in your bed? On your bed? On your floor, maybe? In front of your fireplace? On your couch? Kitchen countertop? The wet wick is noticeably quieter without their leader. Most of the bloodhounds have dispersed, or in a few cases fallen asleep beside their drinks. Got any rooms left, or did my lot grab them all to sleep it off? The bartender, who I now realize doubles as an innkeeper, slides the key onto the counter. You know, I always keep the corner room open for your escapades. Leander's laugh sounds slightly strained, and I always appreciate it, but you're mistaken. This is just for my friend Gab. Sure, stay as long as you like. You two have fun. Bartender knows what's up. Escapades, huh? Leander clears his throat, then holds the key out. But I hesitate. My coin purse barely holds enough for a day's worth of meals, let alone a room. How much do I owe you? Nothing. Bloodhounds. My treat. Since you shared your secret, food, drink, and a warm bed, anything you need. Carefully, I take the key from him. It's small, but weighs heavy in my palm. I never expected to have a warm bed in Iridia, let alone free meals. I planned to steal whatever I needed to get by, no matter how dangerous. You know, I'm a thief. You know, you gotta get that thief discount. You know, the 5-finger finesse discount. Thank you. Go explore, Gaz. You'll find many roads in Iridia, each leading to different answers, but if you need a reprieve from what haunts you, come find me. Just be careful. I nod, taking one last look at the gleaming bronze key before tucking it into the pocket of my cloak for safekeeping. Leander gives me one last friendly wave before I depart. The air clings sodden and heavy. Without the morning crowd, the sunless streets look barren and bleak. Even the peddlers are long gone. Only a pair of crows remain quibbling over stale crusts in a gutter. I feel a ridiculous pang of envy. At least they've got reason to fight. I've never felt so lost. Kuros and Leander both made it clear that the Cenobium can't be trusted, but I came so far, endured so much. I need to see the Cenobium for myself, if only to satisfy my curiosity. I should have asked someone at the bar for directions before leaving. I'm about to turn back when the shadow passes over. A cloud, I think, until a puff of hot breath tickles the back of my neck. The shadow runs down the street in rivulets. Formless dark spreads, like ink into blotted shapes. Claws stretch, a muzzle splits open to reveal long, jagged teeth. A growl rumbles so low and deep, I feel it. I want to run, to scream, but I feel trapped, as though the slightest movement or a single breath will snap the jaws around me shut. No, I won't let it end like this. If I'm going to die, I want to see what got me first. I steel myself, then turn. The shadow vanishes as quickly as it came, and I'm left standing in the middle of the street, alone, except for a figure reclining in the shade of a nearby stoop. You look like trouble, and I don't like you. And you remind me of someone that I don't want to think about. A monster. That much is clear from a glance. One that could nearly be mistaken for human were it not for the tough ears, the tail curled around his ankle, or the dusk pink eyes with pupils that sharpen like needles when they fall on me. Our eyes meet. Monster uncrosses his long legs. No, it's like soccer if he was a fox. Oh. Well, that makes it better, I think. His hair gleams a shade of red that reminds me unsettlingly of blood where it curls around his collared throat. Jumpy, aren't you? His tone is so light and carefree that I glance over my shoulder to make sure he's speaking to me. When I look back, the stranger props his chin on his knuckles and regards me with an inscrutable little smile. Didn't you see that shadow just now? It was massive, moved like a beast. Even as I speak, I'm aware of how ridiculous I must sound, but the stranger's smile doesn't falter. The only beasts I've seen are the wit's drooling regulars, though this did catch my eye. Oh, he's got my key, this fucker! With a flourish of his hand, my in-room key appears dangling from his finger. It turns on its chain, glittering when it catches the light. My hands slide in my cloak's pockets, and sure enough, to find them flat. He crooked his finger, beckoning. I've already taken 2 steps forward before some stifled instinct stopped me. Something feels wrong. I'm still on edge, thrumming with so much adrenaline that the stranger's shadow flickers at the edge of my vision. I've always attracted the worst kind of attention, but I can't get rattled now. Who said that's my key? Who said that key's mine? He smiles wide enough to reveal pointed canines. I saw you drop it. You really should be more careful. A city like this, somebody might take advantage. As a bold-faced lied said without a hint of irony, there's no way I dropped that key, but I can't think of an explanation of how it went from my pocket to his hand. I approach the man, careful to keep an arm's length away. He doesn't look dangerous, but the most deadly ones never do. The stranger's chain softly clings to the tilt of his head, his ears full. Keeping your distance? Until I figure out how you managed to rob me? Yeah, I am. You think I stole your little key from all the way over here? He gives an exaggerated sigh. I'm good with my hands, but not that good. Do I really look like a common thief to you? It's got me there. Well, it got me there. But that's not a crime. The sheer fabric of his sleeves alone would be too expensive for most street thieves. Hell, his shoes look like they cost more than I spent traveling here. And then there's the shop behind him. No matter the city, parted pink curtains only ever mean one. I'm not looking to buy. I doubt I could afford your services anyway. Luckily for you, I don't charge. The man runs the tip of his tongue over a fang, and for the first time since I stepped into that shadow, I feel something other than joy. My face grows hot. No. We are not doing this. I'm not attracted to this man. Character, stop that. We already found our husband. We already have our husband. And we don't like foxmen. We do not like kitsune. One bit. Nope. Nah. That's not what I meant. I'm flattered, really. Were sex my trade, I might make an exception for you. How about half off a handy? Or you could just hand over the key, little bitch. Ask nicely, and I might even let you tug my tail. No! We ain't doing this! Just throw it here. So some spineless little street urchin can snatch it and run? He raises my key, tilts his head so he can watch it dangle back and forth. I suppose I could just claim your room for myself. No, not that I'd be caught dead slumming in the wick with the rest of those slack-jawed imbeciles. You're obviously not from around here, so tell me, traveler, what misfortune brought you to this wretched place? His voice practically drips with derision? Desertion. I'm gonna say that. I'm not telling you anything. Just give me my goddamn key. What could have possibly drawn you to this dreary little pig pen, I wonder? He listlessly watches the arc of my key swinging around his feet. The weather's shit, the food's dreck, and there's entirely too many monsters for a human to feel safe. Unless... Dagger-sharp eyes flick toward me, they gleam with amusement. Unless you're just dying to consort with monsters. Yes, I'm a monster fucker, I admit it right here. I hold my hand up with praise. I have a decal on my computer that says monster fucker. You got me. You caught me. I'm not innocent. And I'm on the deep shit too. It's not that surface, werewolves and vampires. Nah. The Demogorgon. The Demogorgon is in my bed. Stay away from me. I'm unhinged. By now, my embarrassment has worn away, leaving simmering impatience in its place. Only monster I want to consort with is Ace. Well, you do you. You consort with that. You get up and go with that. You own that. You own that shit. By now, my embarrassment has worn away, leaving simmering impatience in its place. If this is a shakedown, it's the most frustrating one I've ever experienced. Are you done? Or did you plan on flirting with me until nightfall? Like, seriously, are you done? Are you done? He touches his chest with mockery. You wound me. How could you be so immune to my charms? You're about as charming as an ox and half as subtle. I suggest you go practice your seduction on someone interested. That earns me a breathy laughter. How about you teach me the ropes? Show me a thing or two. The more he flirts, the more convinced I become that this is some kind of trap. No matter how innocent monsters look, they always have tricks up their sleeve. And something tells me that this one's more dangerous than he lets on, even if he has a lovely mood. I don't know what you want or why you're messing with me, but I'm not coming any closer until I know you aren't going to attack or bite. I won't bite hard unless you make me. No matter what I say, he finds a way to twist my words into innuendo, and I hate it. I hate this man. At least Leander was nice. Leander was kind. And he only blushed. You are being a direct pervert, and I hate it. You're so fucking gross and skeevy. Even when I'm silent, he goes on as though we're having a conversation, not a standoff. Do you like dancing? There's a traveling troupe performing in Hightown tonight. Their ludus is utterly exquisite, truly a performance to die for. There's a life in this dreadful place. Do you know where to look? You sound like you know the city well. No, Gaz, no, we ain't doing this. Gaz, walk away. Walk away, yay, yay. You do not want to be close to this man. The man's gaze flickers from me, dangling from his feet. Naturally, this Dumble's a little more than a miserable little smear when I first arrived. Hightown, Lowtown, I know Iridium like the back of my hand. What about the Cenobium? Do you know where that is? His smile vanished. Surely you've seen it, that absurdly large tower over the rest. It's a little hard to miss. He must mean that spire I noticed when I first caught sight of Iridia. The Cenobium's overrated. Forget about it. I could show you things those stuffy boars in the Olympic Tower couldn't even do. I've already got plans. Oh? Have you some pressing matters at the Cenobium? Lunch dates with the librarians? Tea time with the most esteemed abbess? That's my business. What's it matter to you? I square my shoulders, and the amusement bleeds out of me. Your loss. The stranger, finally bored of his tedious game, extends his hand toward me. The key rests on his palm, neatly divided skin and leather. When he makes no other move, I reach for him, but as soon as my fingers graze smooth breast, his hand springs around my elbow. Hey! He yanks me down and I stagger, my soul slipping on the steps. For a sick moment, I fear my bandages will unravel under his touch, but he's careful not to disturb them, even as his fingers dig into my arm. I knew I smelled blood. You reek of death and the road. This is only 540p. It could be. I only run at like 20 frames because my computer's shit. What about it? You're gonna complain about the quality? If it's hard to read, that's why I'm reading it out loud. So here's the thing: if you're gonna complain about the quality of my stream, pay up. It's the rule here. I know I've got shit quality. That goes for everybody. You reek of death in the road. And that fucking doctor! His voice, once silken, lowers to a smoky growl. The shadows around him seethe and boil as he pulls me closer. And something else. He murmurs against my throat, nose grazing my jaw. Ugh, I hate this man. Let go! I try to twist away, but he doesn't budge. His breath trails down my neck, sending a thrill of dread through me. But just when I fear he'll bite, he takes a deep whiff of death. His wide, flat eyes gleam with naked hunger as he gazes up at me. Not quite human, not quite monster, it seems we're both. Ver! 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 The stranger's ears flatten. The stranger's ears flatten, and he releases me from a short breath. I wink my arm back, massaging it where his whip weft grooves in the bandages. The stranger twists around to watch a woman duck from the curtains behind him. Her quest uniform bears the insignia of the Wenobium. I weave you for what? 1 minute? And you're waking trouble again? Will you quit harassing the tourists? It's more like a cartoon uwu, so bear with me here. The stranger, Weir, I take it, rolls his eyes and flashes the queer with a withering smile. So suspicious. Can't you see this is a friend of mine? Natural wire, he grins at me, and his tail swishes minutely. Minutely? That's a weird word. The woman purses her whips. The woman purses her whips at me, clearly unconvinced. Yeah, okay. You get it for 5 minutes, so it's okay. I open my mouth to correct him, but Weir cuts in. I was graciously offering my Weir friend some free advice. Though his voice remains white and weirful, his expression darkens. Dwaggers drawn... Dwaggers. I'm fucking lost in the sauce of this. Dwanger drawn to you like a waft to a flame. It will always find you. Within time, the woman clucks her tongue as though she's heard this recital 102 times. Word of advice? Don't take free advice from lazy foxes lounging in the streets. This crook would sell water to a drowning man for the sheer enjoyment of it. She shrugs off a wilting look from Weir. Oh, please. Any friend of yours knows it's true. Now, hold still. Weir rises gracefully at her approach. He pushes his hair aside so it sweeps over one shoulder, exposing the long line of his neck. And suddenly, it dawns on me that the wingling I heard earlier wasn't coming from the harness attached to his waller. It was but a leash. It was a leash. A heavy iron wound wound a heavy iron wain wound around a witching post and wadlock to the back of his waller. Weir posed deliberately to wide his leash from me. Amazing. This is poetry. It's fucking poetry. The woman whooses a wearing from her wocket. She rifles through a dozen identical wees before selecting one and wadding it into the walk. Come on, unless your friends wagging along with our merry little soulless want. They're wanting for soulless inside the witty? Words momentarily wail me. The woman regards me with a polite white smile before marching down the stairs. We're wingers. He wrenches his arms over his head with a wand, and I try not to wear at the way his stomach, wow, that was a bad one. The way his stomach flattens when he arches his back. Yeah, no, some things with R are really hard to unify. Your little weaklet is safe with me. Try not to get your yourself killed. Alright, 5 minutes, alright. You got your 5 minutes of that. Veer hops off the stoop and bounds after the woman. His tail sways merrily, as though he hadn't just lied and threatened me. Did you try that thing I mentioned? The Levantian knot? How painful was that? It's not too painful when I stop trying to emphasize the uwu and just kind of change and just add W's to words. I kind of fuck up at the beginning of it, and then I find my groove literally like a few minutes in. The Levantian knot? That one where you take 3 fingers, actually, don't tell me. Knowing you, it's disgusting. Veer airily laughter echoes down the street. It's only after he and the cleric have vanished from sight that I realize I'm still missing something. Wait. Reflectively, I shove my hands in the pocket and find it, the room key. I ease the key from my pocket and swing my thumb over its teeth as I try to recall a touch, a tell, or any hint of Veer's sleight of hand, but I can't figure out how he did it. All I know for certain is that the Cenobium saw fit to leash him, a fate I could share if that's what his vague warning meant. I let my eyes drift skyward, past the lanterns, gently swaying in the breeze, the Cenobium faintly visible in the haze. Just one glimpse is all I need, then I can put this all behind me. This time, the key goes into my coin purse for safekeeping. It's easy enough to follow the sluggish river that splits Iridia into a colossal bridge arches over the dark water below. I cross as quickly as I can, climbing ever uphill towards the distant tower. Hours later, legs aching, sweat beading on my forehead, I finally find what I was searching for. The Cenobium of the Luminous Void. Save? It stands at the highest point of Iridia, surrounded by cold white walls. Well-dressed people stroll down the Stroll down the walkways, paying no attention to the massive tower in their midst. I'm the only one standing before the gates. I crane my neck up and up until the top of the Cenobium tower disappears into the clouds overhead. I frown up at the gates, wondering what horrible traps they might contain. Despite their delicate beauty, there must be more to them than meets the eye. Soon. Knocking seems like a terrible idea, but I don't see any other way of making my presence known. I'm halfway up the steps when something moves in my peripheral vision. A shadowy figure crouches beneath one of the white walls. They reach out and tug on a vine, as if testing its strength. Oi! You there! The shadow vanishes as quickly as I spotted it, and a gaunt-faced man in a crisp charcoal uniform marches up the steps toward me. Ugh, another tourist. Get out of here once you're done gawking. A dismissive wave accompanied his equally dismissive words, and he turns on his heel without even waiting for an answer from me. I look back at where I saw the intruder, but there's nothing, just the leaves blowing gently in a cold breeze. Cool breeze. Cold. Okay. I step away from the gates, hopelessness washing over me. Hello. No, I don't like how that. Hello. A whisper so close I could feel the warm brush of breath on my skin. I instinctively jerk away, but there's no one beside me. Halfway down the staircase, I spot a woman swaying in the breeze. She's gaunt as a rail, her blouse moth. I'm unable to take my eyes off her, not because of the way she smiles a little too widely, or the way her tousled braids look unbrushed for days, but because her eyes shine a vibrant, unnatural crimson, and I'm both entranced and unsettled by their subtle glow. These days, you need a miracle to get in there. I'm unsure of how to respond, or even if I should. Say nothing. After the experience I've just had, I'm not too keen on indulging strangers with small talk. Despite my silence, she maintains her unflinching stare and smile. Lucky for you, I have miracles for free. Whatever she's selling, I'm not interested. My words come out in a tired breath. No thanks. I stare down at the stairs, but she abruptly steps into my path. I start down the stairs, but she abruptly steps into my path. She turns her back to me, and before I can react, she slips her fingers under the lacing of her collar, stripping out of her blouse in broad daylight. What are you as warm fabric unveils bare skin, my panic is smothered by cold horror. A misshapen, sunken scar carves into the woman's body. Pitted, gnarled skin snakes down her shoulder, blooming from a gaping hole in the back of her neck. A shuddering breath escapes me. The fuck? Eloquent. Very eloquent. What the fuck? Whatever disease this woman had ate away at her from the inside out. How is she able to move or breathe? It's impossible. She shouldn't be alive, and yet the power to cure anything can be yours too. The power of the sea spring. The woman slides back into her blouse and deftly laces it up. If I've caught your interest, then follow me. It's only a short walk away. Without another glance, she leisurely strolls down the synovium stairs, loose braids bobbing behind her. The edge of her scarf peeks out from under her collar. I stand there, wordless, until I manage to regain my bearings. It's a twisted miracle, but a miracle nonetheless. This could be the stupidest decision in my life, but what choice do I have? I take a final look at the synovium's shut gates, then follow her down the steps. We descend from the highest streets, leaving behind their gilded decadence as we cross the river. The wet, derelict district feels more familiar to me. But the crimson-eyed woman takes me farther, then farther still, until I'm met with an all-too-familiar sight. My gut lurches when I face the open horizon. The city's outskirts are hardly recognizable in daylight and probably safer for it. But venturing beyond Iridian's walls is a gamble I wasn't prepared to take so soon. Keep going straight, and the sea spring will reveal itself to you. I bark out a bitter laugh, and loud and involuntary. Ha! Aha! Aha! Ihi! Ah! This is a setup. I've fallen for this already. Not that I'm proud of it, but I know a setup when I see one. I barely have enough coin for a meal for what it's worth. If I wanted your coin, I would... Excuse me. The character switched so suddenly. If I wanted your coin, I would already have it. She says it so lightly, I almost believe her, even if she looks as physically capable as a tooth. You're as safe inside the city as outside of it, truthfully. Territory before you is the safest of all. What do you mean, territory? This region belongs to Aes. This region belongs to Aes. Most people know him as a gang leader, but he's much more than I squint against the empty wasteland. Only a fool or someone with nothing to lose would leave the city. Apparently I'm both. But if this sea spring cured her, I need to see what it can do. Your husband! Yes, I know your husband! I set off into the wastes. Over my shoulder, the woman calls after me. Good luck, Gaz. I hope we meet again. My heart pounds with each step I take from civilization. Oh my god! From civilization. From what seems like an eternity, I force each foot forward, one step, then another, until a realization hits me. I never told that woman my name! Something pierces the horizon ahead of me. A building, nestled into a tall cliffside, but so starkly out of place it might as well be a hallucination. It drips with extravagance and honeyed mahogany, an ornate jewel of architecture. That's mahogany! Excuse me, I gotta take a sip. Perfect. A row of dark silhouettes stand out on the horizon, trees, I think, until I'm close enough to realize that what I mistook for branches were spikes and jutting tendrils. Soulless, several of them watch me in the distance, like statues. I don't think, I just run, exploding into a messy sprint. I push my legs as fast as they'll take me towards that decorated building. Flashes of last night chase me. The gushes of blood and screams of death. The smell of burning flesh and sour bile. I can't go through that again. I won't. The next thing I know, I'm dashing up wooden stairs and crashing through towering double doors. Excuse me. I gasp for air, my lungs burning from exertion. I'm desperate to be safe, but when I process my surroundings, it's more hellscape than sanctuary. Blood flows all around me, overwhelming my vision with a lurid, unholy red. Instinctively, my hand leaps to my mouth. But the rotten stench of blood never comes. Instead, a smoky scent hangs in the air, sharp and spicy. I swallow thickly, convincing myself that it's not as gruesome as it appears. This has to be the sea spring, the place that grants miracles. Pulling my eyes away from the pool, I take in the rest of my environment. This music's good, I like this. Tall pillars, blanketed in written notes, seating pillows scatter the floor, a rustic kettle sits nearby. Someone must live here, despite how eerily empty it is. Excuse me. If we're gonna die, we're gonna die, so call out. Hello? Is anyone here? My voice echoes across the cavern without response. I approach the paper-covered pillar. Maybe something here can tell me more. I reach for... Oh, choices. Chat! Where are we going? Are we reaching for the topmost, the closest one, or the bottommost? Since I'm not giving you guys a chance to choose things in a little while. Bottom? Bottom it is. We're reaching for the bottom. I reach for a note at the lower end. It reads, "They watch me through the mirrors. They won't stop staring. They know what I did, but they won't have me. I'm safe now. I'm safe now. I'm safe." Ah, is this a different language? I see. Osi dibz ki zofofum zahi oz has zisfofum. Understandable. The writing deteriorates in unintelligible scrawl. Before I can ponder it further, a sharp chill runs down my spine. I quickly slip the note back, my eyes darting around the wooden deck, but it's still empty, vacant. Finally, I look towards the sea spring. That stillness hides something deeper, something wrong. Hey. I spin around and come face to face with a pack of soulless. They chitter and growl, tendrils and spikes flaring, threatening, all different sizes and species, but sharing one identical trait, glowing crimson eyes. I try to back away, but my heel teeters over the sea spring. I'm cornered. Watch your step. It's deeper than it looks. That voice again. At the sound of it, the soulless freeze, their snarls quieting. I search for the voice's source and find it above me, lounging in the rafters. You look lost, little sparrow. His gaze is a violent crimson, one that sears through me, leaves me feeling raw and exposed. They're the same eyes I've seen over and over, first with the scarred woman, now with the soulless circling me, all bound by the sea spring blood red. In the shroud of darkness behind him, shapes like massive tentacles twist and coil around the wooden beams. Sir, your titties. Sir, your whole titty is out. How dare you? I like how bored he looks. And I really do love his music. What in the world did I just pop into? Ah! You literally missed me ogling my already claimed husband. Amazing. I can't focus. The soulless growls ring in my ears. They're not advancing, but that could change at any second. Panic rises in my throat as I struggle to crack them. Hey! Eyes on me! My stomach rolls as I tear my eyes away from the soulless. Don't ignore someone who's talking to you. It's not polite. For a moment, anger knocks my fear aside. Who is this bastard? How dare he talk to me like this? Fuck you! I look right into his unnerving eyes, holding his gaze defiantly. Fuck you, is that better? A crooked grin cracks across his face. We'll work on it. I don't love his name is now bastard! Amazing. 10 out of 10 gameplay. I love that. We'll work on it. I scan the soulless again. They really aren't attacking, posturing more than anything else, almost after waiting for commands. Did you tame them? Power of the sea spring. They're hungry, so they might bite. You could give me a reason to stop them. How about I didn't do anything wrong? Trespassing. And that's punishable by death? He gives a non-committal shrug. I called out earlier to see if anyone was here. Were we supposed to play hide and seek? Didn't hear you. My voice stops in my throat. This man's terse coolness is both infuriating and terrifying. I rack my brain for a way to defuse the situation. I need help. Okay, fine. I need help. I thought the sea spring could cure me somehow. My voice wavers pathetically. Honesty has never been my strong suit. He cants his head to the side, appraising me, but doesn't respond. I fidget nervously. I'm telling you, I came here for help. Are you listening? Your hands. Alarm jolts through me. I hide my hands under my cloak. I just kind of put my hands behind my back. Don't look at me. Don't perceive me. Show me. Why? Won't ask twice. With a sharp huff, I reluctantly hold out my bandaged hand. Are you getting off on this? Unwrap. He rushes to my face and fire to my tongue. I should give him a piece of my mind, but not when his soulless are one command away from ripping me to shreds. Yet, no matter how much I will myself to move, my body is frozen in place and I stand there for a long, agonizing minute. My hands are trembling. When I finally raise them, I know the skin beneath the wrappings all too well. The hideous, unnatural flesh I've grown to despise. I grip the edges of the bandages. Stop. With a weary sigh, the man slides off the beam and lands with a thud that shakes the panels underfoot. He's a monster, with an imposing figure that towers over me. I couldn't tell how tall he was before, but he's big, illuminated by lantern light. His features are stronger, sharper. Subtle clanks of metal accompany each of his footsteps. The closer he gets to me, the faster my heart hits. What does he want? Is he gonna kill me? I step back. And finding nothing to set my foot on, I'd forgotten my back was to the sea spring. He's big all over, apparently. Wink Wong, you stop that! Knock it off! This is a wholesome, we have strong Christian overtones, and this is a wholesome Minecraft server. I was about to say this one of those games where Kawaii plays the adult-only version. There is no adult-only version. This game is actually, while this game is super suggestive and steamy, the devs have said that there is no adult version. There is no 18+, there's no sexual scenes. It's all implied. I think you get a little bit of man titty and shirtlessness, and that's about it. I fell right before... I had forgotten my back was to the sea spring. I fell right before a warm hand catches my lower back. I'm hovering above the sea spring, the scent of smoke and leather enveloping me. Blazing crimson eyes bore into mine. Told you to watch your step. I'm too stunned to muster a response. She was too stunned to speak. Like I weigh nothing, he guides me back to solid ground and steps back. Following a subtle gesture from his fingers, the soulless around us disperse and relax. The shift in their demeanor is so abrupt it gives me whiplash. The enormous tentacles are no longer in the rafters, though now I doubt I ever saw them at all. Either way, I exhale a breath of relief. Thanks. As focused on me as he was before, the monster pays no attention to me now. He kicks some seating pillows out of the walkways, checks the contents of the kettle with a scowl. The sudden disregard is almost insulting. Got some big hands. So that's it? I'm not a threat anymore? Never were one. Then why'd you threaten me? People get honest when they're afraid. In other words, he was messing with me. I drag a hand over my face, exhausted by the fact that this is the second time a monster has provoked me today. You're Aes, aren't you? Depends. Who's asking? One of your friends told me that this was your territory. She also said you were a gang leader. But there's no one else there. Oh, but there's no one else. And I thought there'd be more people. Aes picks up the kettle, walks to the edge of the sea spring, then dumps out the contents of an endless rain. Gang took a walk. His pleasant smile stretches across his face, ear to ear. Then in an instant it drops, and I get the sense that I shouldn't ask about his gang leader. This music is really good. Something must have happened. I've learned to recognize a real leader when I see one. Aes, regrettably, fits the type perfectly. He knows how to scare people, and he expects submission, but it's uncommon for someone so used to being empowered to be so alone. You said you came here for help? Depends. Can the sea spring cure a curse? Probably. You mean you don't know? He shakes out the empty kettle and starts collecting stray cups, tidying up. My frustration builds. I narrow my eyes at him in a questioning glare. When he notices, he returns it with an amused. Are you being irritating on purpose? Listen, Sparrow, the sea spring can cure anything. Nothing's stopping you from trying it yourself. What do I have to do? I have to drink from the sea spring? My eyes glide to the blood-like pool beside us. The idea of ingesting the strange liquid makes my guts churn. Is there a price? Always. Aes taps his temple with a... You lose it a little bit. That's it? Might have already beat it to the punch. My humor earned me amused fame. This is a little different. When you drink from the sea spring, forget who you are. Your mind combines with everyone who ever drank before, humans, monsters, soulless, one big happy family in your mind. My blood runs cold. I've heard of these before. Group minds. I thought they were just rumors. I've heard whispers of cults performing rituals to bind their members' minds together. It never seemed possible. But something tells me this is real, even if one thing doesn't add up. Your eyes are red too, but you obviously haven't forgotten who you are. Before I can finish my sentence, Aes strides past me. Time's up. Let's finish this later. Wait, already? You barely told me anything. Come on. Oh, excuse me. Came on a bad day. I've got somewhere to be. There are still so many questions burning at the tip of my tongue, but my frustration spills out before any of them. I was told to come here for help, but instead I get threatened and kicked out. You're joking, right? Your tone, I'm nice, but you don't want to ruin the host's mood. My skin prickles. The feeling of being watched washes over me. My eyes dart back over to a lone ripple dances on the quiet surface. I take Aya's advice and clamp my mouth shut. Ayas approaches a nearby Solus, a lanky dog-like one with 6 legs and a crown of tendrils. Several sets of crimson eyes adorn its sides. Its forked tail wags rapidly when Aya squats beside it. He runs his fingers through the tendrils, scratches its chin, and pats its head. A gentle smile plays across Aya's lips. The affection he holds for the soul is painfully clear. I dip my eyes away, my stomach fluttering at the tender scent. It's getting dark out, so this pretty girl will guide you back. Following a short whistle from Aya's lips, it trots over to the entrance, obedient, tail swaying. I watch the Solus warily. Pretty is not a word I would use to describe it, and the idea of it protecting me sounds absurd. If I decide to drink, how should I find you? Find someone with eyes like mine. They'll point you in the right direction. But think it over. Once you drink, you can't go back. It's a lot to process, but I give a small nod. At least I know I have another option for a cure, as disturbing as it may be. I follow the Solus at a measured distance and watch it nudge the giant doors open. When I'm about to cross the threshold, I sneak one last glance behind me. My heart skips when I meet Aya's eyes. I'm about to snap my head away, but he just flashes me an easy smile. Till next time, Sparrow. I'll buy you a drink for scaring you. I don't trust myself to do anything, but respond with another curtain. Let me go back to my husband! All of these other men are rude. Outside, more crimson-eyed souls scuttle about. It's hard to believe it's the same threatening pack from before. They chase each other in circles, roll around in the bog's mud. They pay no attention to me, as the dogs, oh wow, words escape. They pay no attention to me as the dog-like one escorts me away. It's an uneventful trip sometimes. The Solus looks over its shoulder at me to make sure I'm still following. Dusk darkens the sky by the time we reach the city. The Solus sits and looks at me expectantly with familiar crimson eyes. I'ma pet it! As nervous as I am, I carefully glide my fingers through the Solus' tendrils and scratch beneath its chin, just like Aya's had. It pushes into my palm in response, rumbling with a sound akin to a purr. The vibrations are soothing, almost healing my fatigue. When it's satisfied, the Solus spins around and scampers back into the direction we came, vanishing into the darkness. It's barely my first day in Iridia. Yes, pet the baby. Yes, pet the baby! It's barely my first day in Iridia, and I've already encountered so many things, and I thought that things I thought were impossible, even Solus being one of them. My head spins. Maybe I should call it in. Yes. Let's get back to the inn. Nightfall creeps across the streets of Iridia. The city labyrinth, even in daytime, has become a warren of treacherous alleyways. The streets are completely deserted. If I hadn't been here earlier, I would have thought this part of the city abandoned. I make my way through the winding streets, doing my best to keep my bearings towards the wet. My steps slow when I hear rustling in the dark. I strain my ears, but everything is still. In the silence, is the silence playing tricks on me? Something's wrong. The fine hairs on the back of my neck prickle, a frisson of discomfort running down my spine. Something is wrong. My eyes dart from side to side, from one side of the street to the other, searching for movement. The shadows are as deep as dark as pools of deep, and I see nothing. Excuse me. I can't stay here. I need to reach a busier part of the city. Drawing my cloak tight around my body, I hurry on my way. Though I keep my eyes sharp and listen intently, there's only the sound of my own footsteps. As the moments pass and nothing happens, I begin to wonder. Maybe I really did imagine that noise. I turn the next corner and my thoughts come screaming to a halt. My head spins, the world blurring as an adrenaline rushes through my veins. Only one thing is clear amidst the haze. The Solus that attacked the caravan. Look at it. Look at it! It's crouched over a dark, indistinct shape, a body. A garland of intestines spill from the pallid flesh. Blood grouts the cobblestones. For a mercy, the soulless is too distracted by its meal to have noticed. My feet feel as heavy as stones, but I can't just stand here. Holding my breath, I take a step backwards. When the wet slurping sounds don't abate, I take another, then another. Then a shard of glass crunches under my heel. God damn it. The world seems to slow to a crawl as the soulless raises its head. Blood dripping from its tendrils, every single one of its bulging eyes fixed unblinkingly on me. It's really here. It's come back for me. We're not your only option. Fucking run. Yeet! I'm off like a shot, running for my life through the darkened streets. Behind me! A piercing bass splits the silence and heavy footfalls pound after me. My heart thunders in my chest. I take turns at random, trying to lose it in the maze of streets, but I can't seem to shake it. I can hear it breathing now, a wet, fluttering rasp, growing closer and closer. The sound claws. The same claws that severed my arms swipe out. I duck, saved by pure reflex, and skid around a corner. I take 3 running strides before the bottom drops out of my stomach. A wall twice as high as me bars my way, a dead end. When I turn around, the soulless looms in the entry to the alleyway. It's no longer running. It doesn't have to. As it prowls closer, my thoughts race. Some of the buildings lining the streets are lit. There must be people inside. It's a long shot, but... Are we screaming for help, or are we trying the nearest door, guys? What are we doing? Up to me? Oh shit. Alright, hang on. I got a dice here. My pen? Alright. Okay. So, 6 and under, we scream for help. 6 and under scream for help. 6 and up, try the nearest door. 5, we're screaming for help. Somebody help me! Wow, that sounds so goddamn pathetic. Ugh. My voice rings through the shadowed streets. Silhouettes pass by the windows, but nobody answers. In this wretched world, few people still will stick their neck out to help their own flesh and blood, never mind a stranger. The soul is provoked by my shouting, gives a rasping hiss. It's the only warning I get before it lunges for me with a flash of claws. I hurl myself to the side. The slick cobblestones betray me. I fall, sprawling over the rough stones. As the soulless looms over me, I scramble away from it until my back hits the wall. There's nowhere left to go. It descends on me for the kill. But the impact never comes. Is it? Oh no, it's somebody else. I warily crack one eye open, then the other, not sure whether I should believe what I'm seeing. A hooded figure crouches in front of me, one blood-stained hand outstretched. It's this guy again. Moonlight slivers the edge of their stiletto knife. Their face and hands are splattered with blood, and soulless? My eyes dart past my unexpected rescuer to the misshapen form behind them. The soulless many eyes, once restless and vibrant, now look dull and waxy. A red pool spreads slowly from under their body. Numb with shock, I can't help but stare. It's dead. After all the people it's killed. After nearly killing me twice, I can hardly believe it. Well, they look a little... maybe not like that. I'm trying to figure out how I want to do this person's voice. Actually, no, I think we could probably go for another deep-voiced character. So far, what? Curtis is kind of, like, calm and, like, airy. Leander's deep. Veer is... well, drag queen, I guess. I don't know what the hell I was doing for Veer. And, of course, and Ayas is kind of bored. Like, very, very direct and bored sounding. So I think this hunter person should be like another, maybe deep voiced and airy, like not flighty. I got it. Okay. Well, I gingerly take the offered hand. The stranger's gaze dips to my bandages, pale lips part, on the brink of a question, then close again. With a strength belaying their... Your savior here is a they, them too. Oh, okay. Okay, cool. I got it, man. With a strength belaying their light frame, they pull me to their feet. As soon as I'm on my own 2 feet again, they pull away from me and start wiping the blood from their face and hands. Stay there. They turn away from me stiffly, leaning over the soulless' gangly body. With their back towards me, I realize that I saw their hood silhouette at the cenobium. You saved me. I shouldn't have had to. Their harsh response takes me aback. Before I can formulate a response, they continue. What are you thinking, traveling alone at night? This is far from the worst thing haunting Lowtown. I can't make heads or tails of them. First they save me and now they scold me. Lesson learned, I could do without the lecture, though. To my surprise, they break eye contact. Their attention glides back to the soulless one. They examine it with an inscrutable expression. I clear my throat to fill the silence. I'm Gaz. Oh. Mihin. Suddenly Mihin tenses. Their blade flashes as they drive it into the back of the soulless thing. The soulless thrashes once more, letting out a rattling hiss as the air leaves its lung. Min leans over the blade, driving it deeper and deeper until there's a sickening crunch and the creature goes. My heart thuds in my chest. It must have been clinging to life by a thread. Min straightens up, withdrawing their blade in single smooth blow. Better to put wretched things like this out of their misery. They calmly clean the blood from their knife. That swift, unhesitating, lethal strike wasn't the work of an amateur. I'm having a lot of depression at the moment, excuse me. But they don't act like any of the cold-blooded killers I've seen in the past. Why is a soulless inside the city? Min looks at me, eyes searching before realization dawns. Oh, you're new here. There's no walls around the city. Soulless come and go as they please. Someone is contracted to stop them. The Cenobium's patrols don't bother to protect Lowtown. Not anymore. Let me guess, you're not a fan of the Cenobium? I wouldn't go that far. Their brow abruptly furrows, and they sheath their knife, motioning for me to follow them. It's not safe here. The vultures can smell death. I'm not quite sure what they mean, but I don't want to stay lost in the city. I trail behind them as they stride down the street. If it's so dangerous, then why are you helping? You are making an unbearable racket. Every time you walk into a soulless clause, at least die quietly. Damn! What a bitch! What a bitch. Their answer is stingingly harsh. I just need to find my lodgings. I hold up my hands, trying to foretell any more snippy comments. Alright, I get it. I'd love to get out of your way, but I'm sort of lost. I need directions back to my lodging. What makes you think I'll help you? Nothing, but there's no harm in asking. That seems to catch them off guard. Their brow knits, and they look away scowling. How troublesome. Gaz? Ah. I turn, surprised by the voice. Kiros walks down the street towards us, his white and gold clothing pristine despite the grime of the city. Hello, Min. See that soulless was your work? Min shrugs. There's a familiarity to the way they regard each other. I didn't know you had friends, Min. I don't. Freelance work is dangerous, and Kiros is a doctor. That's all. Gaz needs to get back to wherever they're staying before they wander into the jaws of another soul. It is late. Were you able to find a place to stay, Gaz? I'm staying at the wetland. Both of their faces fall. I see. Would you like a guide? It might be preferable to wandering about alleyways. That would be nice. Min clicks her tongue aside, sounding mightily put out. Going to the Amaryllis, let me say Amaryllis. Going to the Amaryllis district? Gone, cesspit. Come, this way. Despite Min's clear distaste when Cross leads me down the street, they keep pace with us. Catching my curious glances, Min's eyes narrow. It's not safe, Clay. I don't care about you. Kuros is the only doctor worth the damn. Are you like this with everyone? The deadpan look Min gives me is answer enough. I catch Kuros hiding a slight smile. I suppress a sigh and resign myself to having a grumpy shadow all the way back to the bed. The route Kuros takes is completely different from my slow meandering earlier in the morning. In no time at all, he cuts through darkened streets and twisting alleys. It seemed like half the city has poured into the Amaryllis district. Colorful streets, laughter, clinking glasses, and music assaults my ears from every direction. Yet the most noise still comes from the wet wick. Doors hang wide open, lanterns lit. Here we are. He moves towards the door and Min lets out an audible huff. Don't tell me. Going in. I have some quick business with Leander. Ugh. Fine. He still owes me for yesterday's. They drag their feet reluctantly, trailing me into the cavern. Yay! We're back with my husband! Where I belong! Where I'm safe! As soon as the doors open, a wave of sticky heat rolls over me. In the hours since I left, the wick has grown suffocatingly crowded. Kuros stands out, easily a head taller than most. Even so, I nearly lose sight of him amid the sea of swarming bodies. Pardon me. The crowd parts as though answering his request. Kuros glances over his shoulder at Min and me before gliding through. How can anyone... Min follows Kuros at a clipped pace. Leander is right where I left him. No. Although he's traded places with the bartender, he holds a pair of shot glasses filled with the brim with luminous liquid. And now for the finishing touch. A flash of magic paints the glasses white with frost. You're never gonna guess what's in these. Leander slides the glasses across the bar, and I get my third and fourth shots of the evening in rapid succession. Aeus leans against the bar, an elbow propped up on the counter. He catches the glasses and lifts one to the light before turning it upside down. The contents magically congealed, stay firmly in place. You're supposed to make drinks pretty. Don't tell me you're wasted already. Oh no, he's supposed to be bored. Hold on, oh my god, all is ever in one place, and suddenly my voice acting just dies out the door in the trash. Supposed to make drinks, pretty boy. Don't tell me you're wasted already. Veer, perched on the bar's counter beside Aeus, takes a single look at the shot glass and shakes his head. What have we here? A bucket full of booger? Leander's nose treasure? You've eaten worse. Veer's lips twitch and his ears flatten when Aeus offers him a glass. He turns his cheek with a sniff and Aeus just sniffs. Coward. Don't tell me you're actually... In one fluid motion, Aeus thrown back his head and down the shot. Jerking his head. A dark look crosses Aeus' face. It's Chewy. Chewy? Wait, let me try again. Behind me, Min grumbles. I told you, the place was a nest of degenerates. If it isn't crossing Min. At the sound of Leander's voice, Min's pale eyes grow wide. They look ready to bolt until Kuros sets a hand on their shoulder. I promise it will not take long. Min's eyes dart from Kuros' hand to his face, then soften. Fine, you first. While they step forward, I linger behind, struck by a sudden revelation. All of the people I've met today know each other. Of course they do. It's a visual novel. Of course they're gonna fucking know each other. It's a harem anime! Good evening, Leander. Aeus, another drinking competition, I presume? Oh, it is. Oh, is it evening already? Could have sworn it was earlier. Just some friendly rivalry, Doctor. Nothing to be afraid of. Kuros acknowledges Leander and Aeus with the slightest nod, ignoring Veer entirely. Not that Veer seems to mind. He tilts his head and an impish smile curses us when he spots Min, looming silently behind her. I almost didn't see you there, Min. Looking for your booster seat? Wow, Veer, no! I already don't like you. And you're just the worst now. Is that a short joke, really? Min pushes back her hood. They level Veer with a pole. I thought Aes wasn't allowed to bring his pets in here. Veer's tail gives an angry twitch. At the first sign of an impending fight, Leander bolts clear over the counter. He slides in between Aes and Pearl. Now, let's try and keep the peace. Not every day the esteemed doctor takes us up on a drink. His arm snakes around Kuros's shoulder. And you are finally taking me up on that drink, right, Kuros? I'm afraid not. We were merely escorting Gaz back to their lodgings. Kuros gestures in my direction, and my stomach sinks. I reluctantly step into the light. As soon as he sees me, Leander's face brightens. Gaz! It's been too long. Everyone, this is Gaz. They're new to European. I feel 5 pairs of eyes fixed onto me, and suddenly the bar feels suffocating and small. My voice nearly catches my throat. Hi, again. Hi, everyone. And then... Again? Wait, you've already met everyone? God, this fucking artwork is so good. So some of them hate each other, and some get along really well. Leander's the only one that likes all of them. Well, of course, he's a fucking himbo! That's why I love him! That's why I love him so much! He's mine. He's my man. He's my clownfish. Eyes of Veer level me with subtly amused expression. Veer tail gives a lazy wag. We did, not that long ago either. I'm starting to suspect you're stalking me. He looks far too pleased with himself when I roll my eyes. This calls for drinks. What does everyone want? In an instant, all eyes turn to Leander, freeing me from the burden of attention. Still, I can't believe they all know each other. Watching them talk amongst themselves feels surreal. But for the first time since I've undertook the journey to Iridia, I feel a faint glimmer of hope. I know I was meant to meet them. The low, pleasant rumble of Leander's laughter pulls me from my restless legs. Ha! Well, color me surprised. You make friends fast, Gaz. I wouldn't go that far. We're more like acquaintances. A wise man once said that acquaintances are merely friends you haven't shared a drink with yet. A wise man? Oh. Sorry, it's Min. A wise man? You said that here last week. I can hear Min's lip curl with distaste from across the bar. Leander clears his throat and continues. Let's toast to Gaz's health. Care to join in, Doctor? Kuros politely declined with the wave of his hand. How about you, Min? No. Are you? No. A resounding pop pierces the din of the bar. We all turn the direction of the noise. Vera looks almost bashful as he accepts an overflowing flute from the bartender, poured from a bottle so old the label has been worn. They serve champagne here? They serve champagne since when? Vera pauses in the middle of licking champagne foam from his fingers with a coy smile. You don't mind, do you? In a transformation as impressive as his magic trick, the concern on Leander's face made he laughs softly. No, be my guest. I know you've got expensive taste. Haha. Then he shoots the bartender a frantic look. Unbothered or uninterested in his company, Aes cants his head to me, a light smile on his lips. How about you, Sparrow? Did I say I'd buy you a drink? I did say I'd buy you a drink. No. My treat. Aes regards Leander over the looking glass, and the dim light that glint in his crimson eyes looks downright dangerous. What'll it be, Gaz? Water's fine. Allow me. Oh my god, hold on. Suddenly, I suddenly just had like literally a wad of mucus in my throat. I think my allergies are catching up with me. Allow me. Leander pushes away from the counter to go flag down the bartender, leaving me with Kuros and more distant Min. I'm not the least bit surprised that neither has bothered to order anything. They both seem ready to leave at a moment's notice. Water is a wise choice. Is it your doctor's duty to encourage sobriety? But Kuros shakes his head with a patient smile. The drinks here are notoriously watered down, like they cut costs, but it only encourages the patrons to overindulge. Min looks up from adjusting the lace on one of their braces. The only reason I'm coming here is for cheap, perfect conditions. It almost sounds like you're speaking from experience. Their pale face reddens and look away scowling. Leander returns with a glass of water that I accept with a murmured thanks. He claps, drawing the attention of the group. Alright everyone, let's toast. May Gaz Day in Iridian be full of bright adventures and discovery. Cheers! Leander, Aez, and Veer raise their glasses to use, and Min only crosses their arms and Kraus watches with light influence. The water is bitter, cold, and tastes faintly metallic, but I savor it all the same. Gradually, the din of the crowded bar fades to low murmur. I find myself relaxing for what feels like the first time in years. Aren't you the popular one, Gaz? I'm guessing you met Kuros first. It would only be more accurate to say I found him. He saved my life. I merely performed my duty as a doctor. Although I must admit, I was confused when I woke up missing all my clothes. Leander makes a choked noise, somewhere behind him, Min sighs. It's not what you think, I swear. Gaz was in grave condition, hardly tweet and grease through tattered clothes. The silence that follows stretches uncomfortably long. I look away, unable to face Kuros' disappointment, and catch Veer snickering behind his hand. That's my cue to change the topic. Kuros isn't the only one who saved me today. Don't you listen? I didn't save you. You were simply there. That's Min for you. Leander reaches for Min, but they duck under his arm with practice without so much as looking his way. As reliable as they are, Moody. You're one to talk, considering you neglected to warn them to stay off the streets at night. Oh, I might have gotten a little distracted. Min's only response is a short one. Well, at any rate, I never got a chance to thank you, Min. Don't. The less soulless alive, the better. For a heartbeat, Min's eyes flick towards Aez, and their lips twist. Aez is too busy nodding along to Veer's enthusiastic pantomime of stabbing to notice, lost, no doubt, in an enthralling discussion. I've had enough of this hellhole. Let's go. Min and Kraus share a brief look, then the doctor speaks up. Very well. Excuse me. Very well. But there's something I must discuss with Leander, if you'll excuse me, guys. And just like that, the three of them depart, leaving me alone to sip my water in silence. Or so I think, until I hear a voice so soft and low it's practically a purr. Lost your tour guide? I turn to find Crimson and Pink Eyes trained on me. It's not lost on me that they chose the instant the others left to strike, just my luck. I had to be abandoned. Two most irritating people I've met all day. Monster or not, there's no telling what I'll do if either of them push me again. Don't tell me. Leander only snuck off to get his knob slobbered out back. He's got business with curiosity. 2-on-1 business, isn't he? I can't tell if it's the champagne or the company, but Veer has grown noticeably more relaxed. He sits with his chin propped on the back of his hand. His ears twitch whenever a hiccup shakes his shoulder. Why are you so far away? Come join us. He pats the empty barstool beside Aez, but I hesitate. The smile Veer wears is sweet and distinctly sly, and with drinks in the mix, I dread how he and Aez will mess with things. We don't buddy. I'm not sure about that. Just hours ago, he tried to rob me, and you threatened me. These two fuck. Kawaii! Good, let them fuck each other and not me. Me? Steal? Surely. Statement. Sure it was me. Yes, it was you, and then you had the gall to kick me out just so you could go drinking. He gives another one of his shoulders. I was lonely. A simple answer than I expected, but I guess I can't fault. Veer suddenly slumps forward, gauze in his sleeve, pulling where he rests his elbows on me. Aez sets his hand on Veer's waist, narrowly preventing him to begin count. How about... Okay. How about we start fresh? Begin with proper introductions, get off on the right foot, and whatnot. I'll start. The name's Veer. Hunter extraordinary. Veer's right hand flutters to his chest, and he bows his head, flinching when hair falls into his eyes. A.S. doesn't say anything, so I suppose it's my turn. Gaz. Veer considers me for a long moment, tail idly swaying behind him, then he knocks back the rest of the chamber. It's a pleasure to formally meet you, Gaz. He says my name slowly and deliberately, savoring every syllable. A tingle jumps down my spine. I quickly turn my gaze away. A.S. smirks at my reaction over the rim of his glass. Is something funny? Nope. I open my mouth and close it just as quickly. They want me to react, goading me into another ridiculous game. While their sharp cat-like eyes keep me on edge, something about this tension is fun. It must be exhausting. A flash of white over A.S.'s shoulder catches my eye. Across the bar, Krau's heads to the floor. I don't see Leander or Min, but it feels wrong to let him leave without saying goodbye. I'll be back. Veer hums and wags his fingers at me as I leave. I slip through the crowd, careful not to touch anyone, just as I am nearing her. Gah! I stagger, shoulder checked by a man with a neck thicker than both my thighs. He stares down at me, nostrils flaring. Out of my way, shit stain! Asshole! I mutter while massaging my throbbing elbow. The roughneck wheels around, shoving a bloodhound out of the way so he can close in on me. What did you say? He shoves me backwards, sending me stumbling to the sticky floor. I'm fine, but my heart leaps into my throat when I see the roughneck bearing down on me. You're trying to start something here? The roughneck raises his fist cocked back. A group of bloodhounds called by the commotion circle is sizing him up. For what it feels like an agonizingly long moment, the roughneck looks from me to the bloodhounds. Finally, he sniffs and spits on the floor next to me. The lob narrowly misses my cheek. Screw it. Too many freaks in this circus tonight. He turns his back on me and comes face to face with Ace. A dangerous smile spreads across his face. You'll do. What happens next is a blur. A.S.'s fist crashes into the roughneck's jaw, causing an eruption of gasps, shouts, and even cheers around us. I scramble to my feet, right as the frantic crowd swarms around me, cutting off my sight of everything and everyone. Through the ruckus, I hear Leander shouting, Hey, A.S., take it outside! Ignore them. Everyone look, drinks on me! With those 4 words, the wick erupts with hoots and hollers. The ring around me disperses as bloodhounds and onlookers rush towards the bar. Through the thin crowd, I catch glimpses of familiar faces. A.S. vanishes out the back, dragging the roughneck behind him. Krau lingers near the door, searching, I suspect, for any wounded before he departs. Min draws their hood up tight as they slip out of her side, while Veer leans over the counter to swipe a glass of wine from behind the bar. And Leander, seated at the opposite end of the bar, gestures dramatically and apologetically at the bartender. In the space of a heartbeat, I realize that there's no telling when or if I'll see any of them ever again. Whoever I pursue may be the last person to get to speak to. I follow, well, obviously my fucking cousin, duh, Leander. For the second time today, I find myself squeezing through a crowd to reach Leander. As soon as he sees me, his easy smile fades. Are you alright, Gaz? I'm not used to someone looking at me with such earnest concern. I've been through worse today. From the sounds of it, you've had quite the day. How are you holding up? Ooh, there's an actual response, and then there's a response that could get me somewhere. I'm fine. Well, I'm still alive. That counts for something, right? Iredia's not an easy place to live in, but you get used to it. Let's hope so. Leander signals for the bartender. I'm parched. Do you want anything? I'll have it. Something strong and simple. He raises 2 fingers at the bartender. Make that 2. Once he's ordered, Leander turns back. Did you at least get to try any good food? I had these fried dough sticks from a vendor near here. As soon as I began describing the meal, his eyes brightened with recognition. The long lads from Wen's stall, you've got to try the porridge. There's another stall about a block away with these rosewater rice flour cakes. Take one bite and you'll think you've been transported to some high-town pasteria. Then bam! You open your eyes and it's the same trash-lined streets as always. When he laughs, his hair falls over his eyes. He shakes his head and pushes it back. I'll show you something. If you decided to stick around Lowtown with this, the The Iridia Leander describes is far different from the one I've experienced, but if you live anywhere long enough, I suppose it becomes home. It seems like I'll be here for a while. Maybe I'll take you up on that. The bartender returns with a pair of glasses and pushes them our way. Cheers. Leander clinks his glass against mine. I take a deep sip of the malty dark ale, savoring its flavor. It was surprising finding out that you all know each other. I didn't think Iridia would be so small. Do you know how many times I've tried getting them all in one place? It's impossible, like trying to herd a bunch of souls. I take it you know them well? Depends. Was there anyone you were curious about in particular? Do you and Kuros work together? Occasionally. Does the mysterious, competent doctor catch your eye? He came across as cold. I get the impression he's a bit cold. Leander nods. A doctor with his level of expertise and perfect service? Impossible. He never warns you. Thing. He's stingy with the pain medicine too. But at least he treats everyone the same. That's something I suppose. I don't care about the others. That about covers it. Aren't you tired of standing? Let's find you somewhere to sit. Leander pushes away from the bar, beckoning me to... He leads me to a small booth in a nook of the bar. A pair of bloodhounds notice him and immediately leap to their feet, offering their seats to me. As I slide into the booth, a web of graffiti scratches into the booth tabletop catches my eye. The deepest grooves from the outline of the dog from Leander's posters, dozens of roughly etched names surrounded the drawings, some fresh, some well-worn. What is all this? It's a tradition. Whenever someone joins the Bloodhounds, they have a drink with us, and then they carve their initials. I like that they let you see what they all think of everyone for character. Oh, I see. So if I were to have chosen someone else, I would have gotten some understanding of Leander. That's cool. The barkeeper must love that. After the first year, she finally stopped charging me extra for just 2 years, and countless drinks later, she added her own. You're not planning on recruiting me, are you? He quickly shakes his head. Not yet. You need time to think about your own path. Do you know what you're going to try next? The question gives me pause. I take my hands out from under my cloak and rest them on the table. Do you think you can help me? Of course. Find answers together. Leander starts to reach for me as though meaning to take my hand before stopping himself. His eyes flicker to mine. I won't fail you, guys. And if you ever need a taste of normalcy, I'll always be there for you. My chest tightens at the memory of touching. Even now? Leander swallows. The table groans under his elbows as he leans forward. The booth is so narrow that he completely blocks my view of the bar counter. It's almost as though Leander and I are completely alone. That's what you want. How did it make you feel? It was warm, exciting. I don't know how to describe it. Leander rests his right hand on the table. He looks at me smiling when I place my hand in his. Slowly, he begins unwinding the bandages, stopping me every so often to glance at me. As my skin becomes visible, I cast a nervous glance around the bar, but as far as I can see, no one is paying us any attention. Leander squeezes my hand gently. No one will notice. He pulls back, raising his hand to his mouth so he can tug his glove off with his teeth. The muscle in his forearm tightens as he flexes his finger. Our eyes meet, and Leander offers his hand again. Here you go. Hand-holding on demand. Hand-holding! This is so lewd! So lewd! We're holding hands! This is the most 18+ thing in this game. So sexual. The lewdest. We are deranged degenerates, just looting it up. Sorry, I'm just taking something real quick. I still feel like my throat's kind of mucusy. A lump forms in my throat. Yeah, that's how I feel literally right now. I'm certain Leander sees it in my face, the flicker of desperation. His voice lowers to a whisper. Anything you want. Wait. What? I'm assuming the red options are the good options here. Or, well, they're the bad options. Touch his face! Alright, we face touching. We are touching this man's face. I blurt out the first request that comes to mind. Can I touch your face? Can I rub my face on your face? The red are the secret options that you unlock. Oh, okay. Nice. Good. Oh, sure. I lean over the table, hesitating before I reach for his face. When my fingers graze his jaw, Leander laughs softly. That tickles. It's fine, you can just... He takes my wrist, angling my hand so he can press his cheek into my palm. Warmth spreads under my fingers, a surprised breath escapes. Gently, I run my thumb down the ridge of the scar on his cheek, and he shudders, his earring jingling against my nose. You're getting awfully bold. I've never touched something like this before. I'm just gonna fucking smush my hand all over his face. Hold on. Oh, I didn't mean to... I didn't know I could do that. Oh shit. Wait. Okay, there we go. Shtips. Hold on. Where am I? Here I am. I'm just gonna... Hello. Hello, sir. Don't mind me. Uh-huh. I can't help it, I'm sorry! Sir's probably not even watching the stream anymore. He doesn't know what's going on. He's gonna tune back in going, what the fuck? And even though it makes my head spin, already not enough, I want to be even closer. I want to be in your skin! Let me share skin with you. Let me share your skin suit. This is how I actually feel. My heart hammers, filling my ears with a pulse that grows unbearably loud until I pull my hand back. Are you alright? I could barely hear his words over my pounding heart, but I managed to nod. Yeah, I'm fine. Sorry, I think I'm just getting old. He gives me a gentle smile, eyes twinkling at the edges. You've had a long day. You deserve rest. Luckily, the room is just upstairs. Want me to walk you back? I shake my head and begin wrapping my hand back up. With each deep breath, my head feels more clear. I'm fine, but thanks. Everything. Remember what I told you. If you ever need a break from the chaos of the city, I'll be here for you. When I rise, Leander gives me one last smile. Good night, Gaz. Night. I trudge up the stairs, but even as I leave Leander behind, the warmth of his skin still lingers on mine, burning through the bandages. Leander offers you something that should be impossible, a taste of normalcy free of your curse. As the first person to withstand your touch, he could change your life, but some things are simply too good to be. Leander promises to help unravel your curse, but at what cost? At the cost of everything. Oh, that's the end! That's it! That's all you get! Amazing. Alright, so... Okay. That's the demo. I know, I honestly forgot it was a demo. Not gonna lie. Hold on, let me get back to my, Let me get back to the, splash art screen. Alright. I want to get here, actually. Actually, is there a gallery? I'll use this image. This is actually a good image. Okay. So expectation versus what I actually got. To give you guys my honest opinion, since it was a demo. The game's not fully out yet, but my initial expectation when Kawaii sent this to me, I already knew it was gonna be not necessarily a harem game, but a choose who you want to romance kind of game. The gore and the description of like all of the death is definitely a surprise and something kind of refreshing in this kind of environment, since a lot of these games rely solely on like the suggestive dialogue and like the characters being all chummy and flirty with you like right off the bat. It's the fact that this game starts out with literally everybody dying around. That's pretty good. And it already kind of hits the ground running. I like that you can choose your pronouns, but that's a kind of also a given when it comes to visual novels that have a romance aspect to them. Some games you're kind of thrown into a gendered position, like you're either playing as a male character or you're playing as a female character, and there's kind of like no choice. So it's really nice that this game gives you that choice of the they, them, he, him, she, her. I just noticed that Aya's knuckles were all bloody in that photo. Who he hit before he get there? Right? So like, I do like that this game does give you the freedom of choice, not only being a male or female character, but then you can also be the non-binary character, which gives an essence of all of these characters are basically all of these characters are bisexual. And I also do like that they do give you Min, who is also a non-binary character. I'm not thrilled by the idea that Min... I'll put myself in the middle here, hold on. My only complaint about Min... Oops, okay. My only complaint about Min is it is a stereotypical non-binary character. It's an androgynous character. They are thin, they are feminine, yet they have like a very masculine look. They have long hair. Like that's a very much a go-to for an androgynous non-binary character. Even though being androgynous and being non-binary are not one and the same. That is my only complaint about his character design. I wish they would not have gone for that, since there is not necessarily a stigma, but there is just that general idea that if in order to be non-binary you have to be androgynous. That kind of takes points from me, but you know, you're not gonna win every battle. So Min has a good character design. They all have good character designs. They all have equally different silhouettes. They're not whitewashed. They have varying levels of complexion and like skin color, and like you can easily tell that they are all different characters. Like, there's nothing wrong with that. That's just a personal pet peeve when it comes to non-binary. We're getting 2 new characters as well because of the Kickstarter, a woman and a long-haired man, owner of the brothel. Oh, cool. So then you get 2 extra characters. That's fantastic to know. So, yeah, so right now these characters all have great silhouettes, and I again have no complaints about them. I love that each of them are comfortable in themselves as characters, as they should be. The varying personalities are also good too. Like, I like a good, well-written character. I like a good character that has good design and a personality about them, and they all have that. Clicking Discord? Oh, hold on. Wait, hello, mommy? Mommy? Sen is mommy? Mother? She's mother? She's giving mother? Okay. Nice. Perfect. That character looks good. I like the RPG aspect of it, where you choose your gender, and you're also choosing your one of 3 backstories, like your origins, you know, where your character came from. And then the fact that there are choices in game, like, you know, you could either scream for help, or you could run, you could try to fight, you could try to, you know, do this, do that, or you can make snarky comments. Like, giving your character a lot of choice is good. I think some visual novels, some romance visual novels fall flat when they don't give you enough choices. One that comes to mind is Doki Doki Literature Club. I understand Doki Doki is not your normal game, especially as you advance in it, but there are definitely parts of that game at the beginning where no matter what you say to one of the characters, it always comes off as you being kind of an asshole. And it's kind of scummy. Like, I know what direction that game goes in. I just don't like how no matter what you do, your character is an asshole. I've never been a fan of the be an asshole or be less of an asshole. There should be there should be, you know, varying different, you know, levels of responses. Like, you can be, you know, it can go from being an asshole to being neutral to being nice. Because not everybody wants to play with an attitude. Most male-led games, they are scummy and gross. Yeah, I completely agree. But I really enjoyed this demo. This demo went on a lot longer than I anticipated. I started stream around like 5 o'clock. We talked for maybe about 5 minutes, and then I got into the game, I want to say maybe around 5:15 we got into the game. And now it's 7:55. So this demo was pretty long. And the thing is, it has replay value, because then you could go down other paths and, you know, have, you know, lonely solo moments with the other characters. So you can basically get a good sense of each character before this game even comes out, which is great. I love a well-made demo. The demo does not have to be the first part of the game. The demo doesn't even have to be like some side thing. This was perfect. It's just about 3 hours, and that's just the prelude. Yeah, right? Like, you get the prelude as the demo, because obviously it gives you each interaction, and then you end up choosing what character that you want to get to know more. So yeah, a 3-hour demo? Perfect. Love that. Honestly. And it's the fact that it's 3 hours, and it's going on 8 o'clock. We only have an hour left in the stream, that I almost don't want to touch my Sacrifier demo, because I want to give that enough time, and I feel like it's not going to take me an hour to do. So I'm going to actually hold on to that one for another night. And I'll probably boot up Minecraft for maybe like the last hour here. But anyway, I like what I've seen so far. The music is good, the backgrounds are good, the character design is amazing, the outfits are flawless. I have not played through a good dating sim in a while. Can we pick A's real quick to follow? No! Absolutely not. I'll do it offline. You've already seen his route. You played his route. Don't you be greedy. You whore. I also have done a lot of talking in 3 hours. My throat does hurt. So respectfully, I like visual novels, but narrating does play havoc on me, so I do want a break. When the game comes out, I do promise that I will play through Leander first, and then we will just replay the game again, and we'll do all of the other characters. I won't, you know, I won't leave them hanging. I know I was doing that with Dream Daddy, and then I never finished. Since, like, I beelined Robert, and that was it. And now, since I beelined Leander, man, no one will see me when this comes out. Honestly, this is probably just what I'm gonna stream for like a week straight. If not longer. This is really good. Like I said, I've not played a good dating sim in a while. I think the last one that I really enjoyed was Dream Daddy. and I've not played any since. One that I tried to get into but never finished was the Arcana one. That's on mobile. That just had too much going for it. Dream Daddy wasn't even like that. For me, it was good for what it was. I enjoyed what they made. I enjoyed the hype that was around it, and I enjoyed the goofiness. It's definitely not one of the best out there. Like, it's not gonna win any awards. But I liked it. Again, for a game that's not male, female, or whatever driven, or like it's male driven, but it's not, you know, completely gross, it was good. Like, it's good, but it wasn't like, yeah, that was awesome. No, that's what I mean. Like, I enjoyed it. For me, this is all a personal thing, where, like, you know, there are people who are constantly playing dating sims, and they're comparing, like, they don't really compare them, but, you know, I play one every so often, and so it has to be good. Doki Doki Literature, again, devolves into something completely different. And I didn't like the surface of it. I liked it late game. So, in terms of just like a tier list here, Doki Doki Literature Club is good for late game. Early game, it sucks. It's an atrocity. I hate it. Dream Daddy has a strong start, kind of like a mid halfway point, and it has an okay end. Like, it's good. It is a good game. It's not awesome. It's not great. It's a good game. It's a good time filler. This, I don't know exactly how to rate this again since this is a demo. This definitely has a very strong start. It has a good middle, like it has a strong middle for the moment, and then we'll just have to see where it looks like in late game for me to really see, you know, how this is gonna all pan out. So, because we don't know everything that, you know, that you're gonna have to end up doing later, and what everybody's secret twist is, because Leander is probably not as nice as I think he is, and I can't wait to see that twist about him, since they're all monstrous in their own way. You know, you're gonna die a lot because you pick the worst options. Yeah. See, I'm excited to see the dying options. Like, I will purposely kill my character just to see what happens. That's what I found fun about Atomic Hearts. I didn't play Atomic Hearts, but every time there was a death sequence, the little avatar of your character would die on the loading screen in some funny way, and and I enjoy that. I'm very amused by when they take the death scenes and they just make them comical. So dying sequences are always good. And I also love, like, different dying sequences in games. Like, I know Resident Evil is really notorious for that. There are different ways you can die, and some of them are just fucking outrageous. Like in Resident Evil 4, if you shoot the lake enough, the fucking salamander comes out and eats you. Great. You can die in the demo. I'm assuming you can die in the demo. I just didn't choose those choices. I was just very cautious. Gosh, I can't believe how much my throat actually hurts. Ugh. So I'm not gonna rate this game yet. I gotta play the full game before I can really rate it. But so far, I'm liking it. It has promise, and I will play the full game when it comes out. I will buy it, or it'll get gifted to me probably. Only at the ending, depending on who you follow and what you pick with them. Oh, I'm sure fucking Aes kills you. Veer probably kills you. Kuros probably kills you. It's Leander and Min that probably don't kill you. Am I right? Probably right. Because it's always the ones that you don't expect, and that's why I'm putting my hat in for Leander and Min are the ones that don't kill you, and it's the other three that do, or it's the opposite. Leander and Min are the ones that kill you, and it's the other three that are innocent. That's usually how this is gonna play out. It's 3 of them will kill you, 2 of them won't, and it's just determining on who that's gonna be. So I more or less am with the murderer. He's gonna fucking kill me if I choose wrong. But I appreciate you guys sticking with me and watching. This was fun. This wreaked a lot of havoc on my throat. And so a game may not actually happen now. I may have to end early just because I keep coughing, and that's not gonna stop. So I need to rest my voice.